Futures back in positive territory this morning, pointing to a slightly higher open coming up after another sell-off on Tuesday as bond yields continue to rise. We're seeing the 10-year coming off a little bit this morning, giving a little bit of a relief rally to some tech and growth stocks here in the pre-market. Overall yesterday, the Dow was down 500 points, dragged down by 7% drop alone by Goldman Sachs shares following an earnings miss. S&P 500 ended the day down 1.8%. We had the NASDAQ leading the way to the downside, 2.6%. More bank earnings, obviously, on tap this morning. We had Morgan Stanley and Bank of America out with their reports, heading in opposite directions. We'll talk about both here coming up. Procter & Gamble, decent report for them, higher but light volume for PG so far. Lucid, obviously the big one we'll focus on this morning with the largest lockup expiration happening so far for LCID shares, and SoFi with a huge announcement. Finally getting that bank charter after, I guess it was late on last evening when that came out. Nice bump for Lucid shares this morning. It's Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Nice look to start things off after a few days to the downside here. Some relief possibly coming today. 0.43 for the S&P there, 0.3 for the Dow, the NASDAQ leading the way. Good to see 0.65 back to the upside. You can see crude oil again in positive territory. Some energy stocks moving around here to start things off as well. Huge rally, obviously, for oil continuing. 0.6%. Yeah, pretty flat so far for cryptos at the bottom end of the board there. Overall, though, pretty exciting morning here. Lots to discuss. Good morning, guys. We got through to Wednesday already. I keep wanting to say it's Tuesday today, but it's obviously a holiday on Monday. So we are at Wednesday, and an interesting one with Lucid, with SoFi, with bank earnings. There's lots to talk about.
Yeah, good morning. And actually, just because I saw it in the chat, we'll say welcome to, I think it's Wayne Griffin, who just said he's a new member. That's pretty cool here today. I wish Wags gave us the heads up yesterday that the bank charter was coming in. But $12, like obviously it was a scalp trade yesterday, $12, but SoFi, it's actually breaking back to this 14 right here, right now. But SoFi getting the bank charter, they're going to be in play. Lucid, oddly enough, it's not really doing much. It's about as sideways as you could be considering the lockup is today, so a little bit surprising. But we do get a bunch of earnings, some of which are in stocks that move, most of it, like your UNHs, your Proctors, maybe boring stocks with some decent reports. And bank earnings finally coming to an end, and we're getting some movement, maybe bouncing back a little bit. So going to be a lot to watch. DWAC already broke through $90. So that 100 is certainly going to be in play. Vinco doing some decent pre-market volume, but lots to look at here. And ATVI, I'm still not sure what to do with it. I mean, it kind of made a bottom yesterday, and it's pretty enticing down some of those prices. But we'll be on watch on day two because the volume's still going to be there, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. We just got into SoFi there, 95. So let's see where we go from here. But yeah, I tweeted it out yesterday, and a big thank you and congratulations to our friends at SoFi. But the problem is that, I mean, it's right here. Here we go. This is the tweet that I put out right here. Congrats to Anthony Noto and your team at SoFi as well. They got it. They got the bank charter. They bought that bank, and it got approved. Everything's good to go here. So we'll see what happens today. It was Golden Pacific Bank Corp. So now they'll switch over. They got their charter, and we'll see what happens now as they get it. But again, I think it was pretty expected here with SoFi. So, again, lots of debt. Lots of, acquisition costs, student loan business is big for them. So we'll see if they can expand that. But, we're just going to play the long here and then see what happens today. I don't want to be, addicted to this and just playing the long. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen today for SoFi. But at the same time, I think we have some nice support here at 1350. So, if we're going to find a place to dig in, I think it's going to be around there. and we'll just play it from that point. I mean, what are you going to do? You missed yesterday. You know, we're still investors in SoFi, so obviously a nice little 15% move is nice. It was up 20%. You know, we got as high as 1460 there. I put in the sticky note today, and thanks for all the love and support on the sticky note. SoFi's obviously on there, and I mentioned that we might take a pre-market break of like 1450 or whatever the pre-market high is at that time. So we'll have to see what happens. We still have an hour before the market opens and real volume starts to come in, so that's going to be key. But yeah, I'm going to pick a level of 1350. It's great news for SoFi here today, and I'm excited. I mean, the Canadian consumer price inflation was just 4.8%, which is the highest since 1991, which is not going to be good for some of our equities and possibly our banks here as well. But we'll wait to see what happens as Canadian banks yet to report. But we obviously had a couple big reports, Brendan, in the finance and banking sector in the U.S.
Just looking at some of these numbers, we got U.S. housing starts out there as well. That was basically in line to slightly higher than expected as well. So, interesting move in the futures there as well at 8:30 as we came on. As we said, lots to discuss. Morgan Stanley, apparently the call just starting, so a heads up on MS after earnings. We'll get Bank of America conference call as well this morning. Before we go any further, Miss V is in the building and ready to go as well. Good morning.
Good morning, team. Happy trading to you all. Enjoy your day and the show. Please make sure you like this video, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's get it started, guys. Lots to discuss here. Just watching this Splash beverage going crazy right now on huge volume. Gave you a bit of a fake out there to the downside, and then, wow, new highs on SBEV. So here we go. This was MS. We got a pretty good report for them overall. It was trading down slightly, but M&A activity with a nice beat for Morgan Stanley. Their equity trading was not as bad as some of the other ones so far. So good look for Morgan Stanley so far this morning.
Well, they have two advantages. One, like they obviously did perform pretty well, but the second advantage is you get the report last, right? So they already put in the down move. We talked about it, but I can't believe you missed an opportunity at the easiest pun of all time. When SBEV is making this run to $5, SBEV is making a splash in the markets today as it gets to that $5 mark. I was already sort of eyeballing $5 in SBEV because it already pushed a little bit here. So I have quickly paid for short. It's got what I think can be an actual lower high. I just got to come to this because it's moving, right? So what I think could be a potential lower high, this a couple of days ago, this 435-ish top. If it does pop back up $5, I'm kind of seeing if it can consolidate around that range for potential long, but 5 break is in play here. I don't think this stock is halted on this move, so I'm not really too concerned about that. Going back to Morgan Stanley, look, got to always talk about what is moving. You're essentially just right back to where the support was on the previous dip, and it's still, again, much ado about nothing since the last break that it had, and this was right around that 95 mark. I think we talked about this already, going back into the summer. Like, you had a bottom around 95, a couple of wicks below, and then a top at the $10 range. So that we might settle down around here would be just sort of moving around in the range for the stock. I think if it closed below 95, then you could start thinking about, okay, well, do you get value buying at 85? I'm still sitting and doing, sort of like a nothing to see here. We're right back at that same range. As far as the day trade goes on it, the 200 period now sits as a floor below this 95, but I'd want to see it open up before I get too excited about that. There's a lot of names, especially after the drop yesterday. I mean, if you're looking to like buy dips, and I hate to say it, but like after the bottom that AMC made, that gets pretty interesting. GameStop as well. Of course, SoFi is going to be in play today. You have Vinco is going to be on the move. It's going to be hard to want to get into the banks, and unless it gives you a pretty clean consolidation off the 200 period, which would require to make a bit of a dip that I'm not necessarily seeing happen. This might have sort of come and gone on the low volume. But yeah, it's sort of right back to normal. They did a very good job, certainly, of, I guess, beating JP Morgan. But if you just simply look at JP's value, that gets like that 140 level looks really, really good if you could pick that stock up anywhere near that range. And overall, like I said, it has probably more to do with the fact that Morgan Stanley reported last than anything else. Like they were trading above $100, and if they had reported 2 days ago, then you probably would have bounced off the same level and then been in the same spot. It just seems a lot better than it is because the dip had already happened.
Okay, so I'm in Morgan, and I'll just tell you about it in a second, but we already take a dime right now on SoFi, so we took that dime. Now we're going to hold and see if we get some more. And we no idea where it's going to go. We'll scalp this. I think there's going to be lots of volume, 6 million shares. So we actually took out half for 10 cents, which isn't much. Obviously, it's not much. I think we can get a reload. And if not, then we'll look at some of these highs. So yeah, so I'm short here on Morgan Stanley at this 98 level. Let's just see where it goes. I think it falls today, obviously. I think the best bank here to own is going to wind up being either, it looks like Morgan or Goldman. Goldman shouldn't have fallen the way it did yesterday, obviously. So we'll see how that moves right now. But for Morgan Stanley, we're short right now. I think we could put some bids like around 97. I mean, if we could take $1 real early on this, I think that's probably, or 70 cents, it's probably something we'll do. I actually put a bid at 95. Like, I think we trade back around 95-ish. So it might be silly to take a 97 bid, but that could crack, and it is these pre-market highs. So this still could crack higher. I'll wait and deal with this at 100. I'm not going to worry about this right now. And then Lucid, we're in this as well. Yeah, I don't know. We took the short. We're going to talk about it, obviously, with the lockup coming up. So we'll see.
So level 2.
Level 2 for Lucid. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. There is 200,000 right there, which is good. It's done 600,000, but I didn't even notice that, so that's good. I'm short at 83, and that's at 83. But again, once this market opens up, and we're going to talk about this, maybe we shouldn't get too ahead of our sticky note or our watch list here, but Lucid's on the watch list, Lucid's on the sticky note, and I'm in Lucid, Morgan, and SoFi, all of these names we've talked about, Brendan, but I do want to scalp a little bit out. There we go. The size on EdgeX just came down to 75, so we should be able to make a move lower now. I'm bidding 70 to take out one piece of Lucid. If we take that 13 cents there, we will get out there. It goes, there's a cracks right through. So already, Brendan, the Lucid short paying off. I know you have it as well, so let's see how far we can go down with this trade.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see how that plays out. There was news there, guys, on that Splash beverage. So I got caught in that news event. So 41%, here's why. Their Poloco brand is going to be in 187 Ralph grocery stores. So heads up on SBEV. You remember last week there was a big move because of Walmart announcement. So now going to be in Ralph's here as well. Sean, you mentioned Goldman there. Heads up on that. Oppenheimer cutting their price target today, 574 from 598 for Goldman after earnings yesterday. Obviously, GS going to be active again today. I mean, it's with the market trying to bounce here, as we saw the NASDAQ was leading. Going to be interesting to see what happens with some of these banks. It's been a negative couple of days, even a week and a half or so for the banks back to the downside going into earnings. So maybe we get a bounce for them as well.
Yeah, I really like Goldman. Are we talking about Goldman there? Yeah, I really like them. I mean, I think that they made a big move to the downside there yesterday. Forward PEs of around 9. Record everything. Profits, record M&A, record. Every single thing they did was a record, right? And the only problem is analysts came out and said that they're not going to be able. I think my camera's way off because I normally sit here and look. I don't know, this doesn't seem right, but okay, we'll go on with that. But anyways, Goldman Sachs, I really feel like, they had record, they did have record everything. So the only problem is that maybe they cannot repeat said record performance, and maybe they can't. And I said that, the environment was perfect for banks, and there was probably only negative, stuff, rhetoric coming out from them. Wow, Lucid right now, guys. Lucid, Brendan, continuing its crank to the downside. This is a nice win for us. We'll fire off some cannons one more time for Lucid, man, as that is starting to go to the downside.
Basically, that size is driving it down. That size is now walked at
30, guys.
At 33 pennies, that size has walked it down. I think if that just keeps it there until the open, it's probably going to continue to fall.
Yeah, let's go. Let's dance it off right now. As Lucid, guys, taking this move to the down. You can't get any easier than this, really. I just don't. It broke 40. I didn't even realize that it broke that 40. We get it. We should be short up here, 40, 39.90. But anyways, it comes to the downside, and we just took some out there at 32. So the size is still there at 75. You may get a pop back up there, but hey, let's get some out on Lucid. But anyways, okay, Goldman Sachs. Look, I still think that I'm waiting for it to go lower. Like I said, I'm already short Morgan right now. I'm feeling like it's going to be another negative day in the banks, but we haven't even gone over BAC yet. I just, you're all the way back, man. You're all the way back to June levels. And at one point yesterday, we were down 10%. So for someone that's underweighted banks, like I don't really see why I shouldn't be buying a Goldman here, a JP. I mean, I have JP Morgan, but a Goldman, a Morgan, something like that down here, and we'll see how BAC reacts, or even a Wells Fargo. Citigroup, probably not. I don't hear too much talk about them, but Goldman's always been, the best. So I'm gonna wait for them to come in a little bit more today. If I could pick this up anywhere near yesterday's 350 bottom or so, then I think that's a screaming buy. But I'm gonna go manage some of these positions.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Goldman, you're actually getting it below some of those levels from the summer. And only because we talked about it yesterday, I'm going to reiterate the same thing, and someone has asked about it. Silvergate is technically a bank. Yes, it's a bank, but it's a crypto-related play. And it's about their exchange network, and it's about their custody. It's about their crypto transactions. So you're going to see them right at that 100 level. I think that could get tested today. I think you got to be waiting for a little bit lower, like I said in yesterday's action. Like that 85 to 90 range looks a little bit spicier. The fact that Bitcoin's holding 42 certainly, or that 40 level certainly helps them quite a bit here. But overall, just give it a couple of days. It's not the same situation as, oh, you're buying a dip on Morgan or you're buying a dip on Goldman Sachs because it's a high quality. This is a name that has room to, as fast as it went up, to continue to go down. So I'm not really doing anything until at least next week, or a breach of 100 gives you a better price.
I want to mention TDOC, one of those crazy growth names. Obviously, Teladoc up 1.3% here pre-market. So, not really doing much, but all of this type of names, looking like this in the pre-market here. There was a note I just saw there from Berenberg saying, the market's overlooking Teladoc. They raised to a buy on Teladoc. What's the price target here? 141. From Berenberg. So a huge price target increase, obviously, from them. 141 way back up in here. That was, the initial support area on the way down here for TDOC.
Yeah.
Like for these high valuation names, it's the same thing that I would say, and this is a better company overall than something like a Virgin Galactic, I would say, because but there's still spec plays. Like the percentage, and everyone's a little bit different. Like whatever your percentage in your portfolio you say is on the spec play. I like that 10%. I'm a Nassim Taleb follower there. You've got to understand that they're a different type of bucket. So if you're owning something like this, if you're owning something like a Virgin Galactic or an Affirm, then this is going to be a bad year for it. And either you have an amount that you are comfortable holding for a time period, for catalysts, otherwise throw a stop in it or something like that, because they can get a price target upgrade all they want. But this hasn't broken out or doesn't have upward momentum until it gets above $100, and it hasn't even given you a consolidation yet. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing literally nothing with it, the same way I would do literally nothing with Virgin Galactic here, and I wouldn't be buying it either, even with that price target. I think it's just going to be a rough year for something like a Teladoc, and it doesn't really matter. It goes for anybody that makes money. That's why you even see some selling on SoFi. If SoFi had that same news 8 months ago, the stock would be up like 30% and probably breaking out and doing like parabolic type things in this pre-market. But there's going to be profit takers because when you're not making profits or have good earnings or good ratios, then ultimately you're going to be under pressure in this market. I did get that SBEV on the dip buy. That came a little bit faster than anticipated. I kind of thought this would be like, it breaks off 5 and then we get a consolidation closer to like 915 or 930. But it is so far holding that sort of 450, 445 area. I did scalp some out in front of the previous pre-market high, and I'll probably continue to do that. I think $5 is its own level, but I was simply looking at what was the previous top going back, and then just got a bid in front of it. Hopefully it gives you a $5 break in addition to this. I think that's worth playing. And AMC getting close to 19.
So you talked about TDOC. Look, part of TDOC is honestly just admitting your mistakes and getting out and putting your capital to work in better spots, right? And I mean, I've already gotten out of this one when it ripped up here to 86, 87. It's great to hear that they are now finally catching a bid maybe here today. But again, if you don't like names, you shouldn't really be in them unless there is, like what Neil was saying, a comfortable amount of shares for you to be holding, right? And for me, it's just no. I don't see any value in this company. There's really no point in holding this name. I don't even want to look at the PE. They don't even have any earnings. So, there's really nothing sexy about a name like this. And anytime you get a bump up, I think it's a selling opportunity. So no matter what price you're long TDOC, probably you should be selling some today. You get the 1.39% bump. I would take some off. Like I said, I've already trimmed my position. I'm raising capital. I've already done it, put it to work. Let's see where we go from here. But yeah, it's just a comfortable spot. You got to be comfortable with your shares in these names. It's like a DraftKings, like we sold that one at 60. I mean, we did the same thing, except for we took out profits on DraftKings. We sold it at 62. Like, these names could fall forever. Like, they could keep going. DraftKings could keep going. SoFi could keep going lower. TDOC could go to 40, 50 bucks, right? And then are you happy holding your 130 long or whatever, whatever you're buying at, 100 bucks long, $75 long? Like, if we had a crystal ball, that would be great. There's another name, Palantir, not dropping as much as those other names, but, you're down to 15 bucks on PLTR. How far can this name go? Do you want to take some off? Do you want to get in there? Do your research, figure out what the company is that you're buying, and you should be okay. You got to hold some of these names that have been getting killed. It's just a matter of when do you finally step in. Ethereum, not really moving, just bounced off 3,100. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting morning. We still have 40 minutes to go here, and I'm already in 3 positions. Morgan's starting to head back to the upside, so we're going to average into this. As like I said, I'm not super worried about it until 100, but wow, up 5%, doing something that no other bank has done, which is going up. So that's really nice. We will talk about BAC. But
I want to quickly talk about this because it keeps seeing ZGNX pop up in the chat. And look, it's up 68%. You will see 5 million or plus in volume. They're being bought for cash, 26, and you're wondering why it's trading above. There's a contingent value right of $2 pending, I think it's an orphan drug approval by the European, whatever the European drug regulator is. It's like they need an approval of that drug by December 31st of next year, and then they get evaluate up to $2 dependent on that. So that's why it's trading above. Those are really tricky to value because you have both. You have to discount it, then you have to figure out the probability that they get it. So it's not that easy, but a lot of times what will happen is you get like a bit of a floor in front of the deal price, thinking, okay, well, it's not necessarily worth zero. The deal price of 26 gives you a bit of a floor. And then you can bid in front of it. I scalped it a couple times. You might see me in the stock, but this is why it's trading up and why it's running. There's a limit to how far I think it can go. Usually these biopharma deals have been sells on day one, but it's the CVR that is the reason this is trading and moving higher.
Yeah, a ton of volume on that so far. Lots of people I saw mentioning that as well. Here we go. Upgrades, downgrades for today. Activision Blizzard, big deal yesterday. Obviously, everyone knows about that. Stifle, liking that. SoFi, Under Armour, Exxon Mobil, XOM up again this morning. There's a firm on the downside of the page, Alibaba, Penn National. I mentioned, Sean, you were mentioning DraftKings there. And yeah, there's Goldman to the downside, according to Oppenheimer so far, guys.
So you know what? It is very rare. I can't remember the last time I saw an upgrade the day after a cash buyout was announced. A lot of times you'll get a downgrade when a cash buyout's announced because they're like, oh, there's no more upside in the stock. It's getting purchased for price X. Yet here we are, Activision is trading $12.50 lower than what Microsoft has offered for it. So look, there's a breakup fee associated with this of like $3 billion. That's only big because the deal's gigantic. But I said yesterday, if it found a bottom, I'd probably be trying it. So I look at the 81.50 that this put in yesterday's trade action, and I kind of look at the higher low that it put in the afternoon at 82. Like if there's going to be any kind of a bounce here, I think those are going to be the two levels. You can't fight the market too far in these because clearly the market is pricing and there's going to be antitrust issues and regulatory issues with this deal. It's just that simple. So even if you think that it's likely to go through, I'm not too worried about the size because Microsoft hasn't really been under the crosshairs for deal making just yet. So we'll see what happens. It's a fraction of Microsoft's value, like a very, very small fraction of Microsoft overall value. And that was received pretty well. But I'm looking 82 even, 81.50. Those are the only longs I want in front. The same way I just go in front of the 26 long in ZGNX. I try the same thing on ATVI, but I won't be stubborn about it because clearly there's some serious sellers on this stock, as was the case yesterday.
So right now we reloaded up in Lucid, so we're short now at 50. We just took that print right here. I mean, you got to be aggressive if you're going to trade this name. You're going to have to get into some positions and see what happens. So we're going to watch to see what Lucid. We still have a flush coming, I hope, once the imbalance is there and we see a movement to the downside. So we'll take out a little bit of a bid in the 30s like we did there, and then we're already in the 30s, but low 30s. Hopefully we can grab that, and we reloaded up on Morgan, which is now, I told you we were taking that reload. So look at the price, 98.25. We're short at 98.21. So hopefully that will come through. And then what's up to Mike? Hey, Mike, what's up, my good friend? Let's see. So you want to talk about SoFi one more time? Sure. All right. So I'm already in, not too heavy. We already took out 10 cents there on half the position. I have no idea where this thing's going to go off open. We've already done 6.5 million shares. But as noted on the sticky note today here, we like SoFi back to 1350. So if you guys check out the sticky note here, there's notes on SoFi, Lucid, DWAC, Palantir, Microsoft. So I'll tweet this out. I'll put this in the chat. Well, it's already tweeted out, but you guys can look at it here. I think 1350, Mike. So let's see if that works. 1350 here for SoFi coming back in. It doesn't really look like anything on the daily chart, but I was just saying that I gotta find some level, and I like to trade off 50s. So in here is 1350, kind of in the middle. I'm really drawing at straws on a level to average into. So play it by your own sort of feelings, but there is a very, very good bottom, I think, at 1280 that we've only broke one time, and that was yesterday, where we made the move back down to 12, where everything cracked, right? The Dow was down 600 points yesterday, the NASDAQ was down 2.5%. So I think you have a lot of support here at 1280. I don't think we get back to 1280. If we do, then this will be, an epic collapse in that stock based on the news. So I'm going to start defending around 1350, and then honestly, probably get out like if it breaks 1340 or something, which kind of would suck. And then, but that would be fine. Whatever we lost, I would wait for, a sort of a reload position, and I'll let you guys know. And then at that point, we'll probably go and double or triple the shares, because hopefully we found a bottom at that point. And look at that, guys. Yes, sir. Morgan Stanley. Let's go. Comes right back in, man. And we take a piece out there for that profit. So we were short at 98.20. We just took 15 cents. Thank God we took some 15 cents off there. So we got out of 35% of the position right there. So we got out of that one. Let's see if it continues to make a march to the low side. And there it is again. Yes. Brendan, what a great morning this has been. There goes Lucid all the way to the downside as well. So right now, SoFi 20-cent winner. Morgan Stanley 5-cent winner. Wow. And Lucid right now, position pending. We'll see where that goes. But good morning so far.
Yeah, lots to do. I wanted a quick word here, guys, on chip makers. NASDAQ, we saw leading, or trying to lead here, back to the upside. Here's AMD up 1%. ASML out with earnings beating across the board, not surprisingly. 3% for ASML. So worth a note here, chip makers could be a little bit positive today.
Yeah, I mean, look, ASML has been an absolute beast, but there was at least a little surprise because they had that fire in their plant, so there was always at least a little bit of concern that they might have disappointed. Clearly, I was waiting on to see what AMAT's response would be. They're back to the upside. I'm looking NVIDIA today just because if you get a bit of a bounce, I kind of look to. It's only up to 1%. You already bounced off 260 in yesterday's action, getting down to that price and sort of just barely hugging it in the aftermarket. You got down to 59. You had 56 from last week, so we're right back above that 260 level. So it's essentially NVIDIA that I like here. And you look at the afternoon, this top, it's about 262. You got a pre-market high at the same level. So if we get an update in the market, and this is a little bit of a relief rally led by ASML, a 262 break on an NVIDIA, you have a defined bottom here, at least around that 260 that you can dig into. So it's NVIDIA I like. Obviously, ASML, great company, great stock. It's primary listed in Amsterdam, and it's like $700 for the ADR anyway. So I much prefer to be trading NVIDIA today on that 62.
Okay. All right. So, I was just looking at Lucid. Lucid went all the way down there to 38 or 39.20. I don't know, how low did that go there when I was stretching there? Low, 38.90? No, that wasn't just now. 39.28. So we're going to sit on the bid again, see if we can get it. The volume's starting to really pick up here in LSCID. You could just see by the prints. At 9 o'clock, I'm expecting something to come through as well at 9 o'clock. So we'll wait to see when retail comes through and starts to do something with this name. So Lucid right now just bouncing around. Not much happening on that. Neil talked about NVIDIA. We can look at AMD, obviously, as well if we wanted to. Retweet the sticky note. Yeah, everyone, please retweet it if you can. I mean, the more people that see it, the better. It should be for all of us, I would think. But here's AMD yesterday, a bunch of nice longs. Long. Look at this. Long down here, 133.70. We waited for dips, and then that's $2 right there, right? So that's a nice win there on the last 20% of that, plus. So we're taking about $3-4 bucks here early on it. And then we went long again, went long, got out. So gave back some of that was fine, but then in here was bad. We took it into the close and lost. So again, not a great close for AMD yesterday, but looks like it's trying to find a bottom off that ASML. So that's great. 1% up. Some levels here to look at. I don't really see too much. I would much rather prefer getting in, obviously, on a dip like we did yesterday. So let's see if AMD wants to give us something down to 132. We'll put some bids down to 132 in case the NASDAQ does pull back, which it could do in any minute now, right? So hopefully we can get one of those bids down here, 132 low for AMD.
BBIG just popping up there on a little bit of volume. Heads up for Vinco Ventures trying to go back to the upside. Still lots of room on that. Let's bring in Arun here and get a check of the overall market. Interesting look here to start things off so far, Arun. Where do we go potentially today?
Well, this is confusing. So with yesterday's move, I was looking at 65 as the marker that if we got below, we'd have some action to the downside. It turns out that the market has decided that it wants to go as low as 30, 35 or something like that. And then here we are back in the 90s. Now, this did provide some resistance yesterday. So if we can still catch maybe a short, there's tremendous strength to the buy side. So you do have to respect it. But in the event that there's a short that sets up, we still have 46.15 as a potential level to work with, right? That was the level from yesterday morning. We kind of opened near it and then just fell off. And then we kind of bounced up and down through the 70s, up to the 90s, fell off, and we finally took out that 65. So the 90s should provide resistance. That 15 should still be in play in the event that we get the setup. Now, if we go to the downside, I really don't have anything else, right? We've kind of burned through the only level we had that was nearby. Maybe we can get something around 15, 45, 15. That might be still in play. There is some support somewhere south of 30. It's not a whole lot, so we're going to have to wait to see how the market wants to play if it decides to go through that low. But in the event that we do go up, there's an available short in front of those 15s. In the market, if a market were to go down, be patient. There is the 15 available, 45.15 and then 44.90. Those are the two levels. They're not huge levels, so it's all going to have to be based on how this market sets up. It's pretty much a yo-yo effect. After yesterday's down move, here we are up, and this market's pretty much where we were. I think as of 3 o'clock yesterday, we were roughly here. So right back to it. We're up 0.6 on the NASDAQ, and we're just waiting for this market to decide. If it wants to go up, great. If it wants to go down, that's a trickier situation, but I'd rather just wait for some sort of trade that sets up. At least we have something, that we have a level above us, and if we can get a setup there, I think that'll make it a lot easier. Or if the market were to just go quiet, I think this would be even better for tomorrow's trade versus today. You may have to just sacrifice today for setting up for something tomorrow, which might be of higher quality.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back tomorrow morning. Let's jump into what else is moving around. Just watching MA, Chase, Instacart, and MasterCard teaming up on a new credit card. Heads up on MasterCard there. That's a watch list, I should say. Miss V will help you out if you need that link in the chat. Absolutely free. Did I mention that already? Let's talk SoFi, guys. They finally get this much anticipated bank charter out late last night. Big pop here, was more than 20% at one point for SoFi. So, back to 14. If you go to a daily chart, 14, very important level here for SoFi.
Yeah. 14's been good. We'll go back to it again. I was just watching Lucid here as we just took another bid out at 27 as we scalped that one for a nice profit here already today. It's been a good day for us. And here goes SoFi. We talked about some of that retail coming in maybe at 9 o'clock. We see some spike up here now at volume as SoFi starting to go back to the upside. I said the only trade really for me would be averaging into this right now. We're already long at 94. We took a dime. It's now, obviously now we're well past that, 24, 25 cents in the money on this one. But we'll see. We're already at 14, so either defend that level, which I think we probably test that one more time, so you can get long like 1401, 1402, 1405, 1418 right now, or whenever you want. Either way, if SoFi is going to be a winning stock for you today, you're not going to be able to take, you're not going to take 10 cents, right? You're gonna try to make this, either up to 15. See if we can crack even higher than that. See if we could take out something like these pre-market highs, which is what I was looking at here, which are going to become much more relevant as the market opens up here. So 1460 could come into play for me. It is at this key level here. If you break through 1450, you kind of have room. obviously up to 16 again on some kind of a squeeze here to the upside. I'm not sure the short percentage. I should have looked at that. I mean, it's easy enough to find. We'll get that in a second. But, you know, for right now, SoFi, just a big move to the upside today. I was looking at, you know, looking for a fill back here around 1350. You know, we won't be fully invested at those levels down here, but, you know, I think that's a position that we could put on because I believe that this 1280 broke yesterday just because of the day we had. So I feel like 13 bucks holds for sure. So again, I think it's well worth it. Even if you take a long right now, all the way back to 13, I still think you have room up to 15. So it's probably worth the risk on any kind of a pullback down here for SoFi. I'm just a buyer all the way. And then we'll see what happens on a pre-market high break, but I'm not going to do anything until then. So either comes down and loads me up, or we take out the pre-market high, which whatever that is on open. I just hope I don't forget.
Yeah, I've been bidding and just sort of looking to bid in front of that cluster. It's at 13. It's about 13 quarter to like 1280, 13 quarter the top end of the range. If it dips into that price, I think it's a bit of a buy. If it consolidates at the higher cluster here, which is 1380 to that 1410, that's currently what seems like it's happening right now. I just want to see further consolidation. There's 25 minutes till the open, so there's plenty of time for this one to work. I think really, if it broke that 1380, I'd rather re-engage down at lower levels, and it does have potential break at 15 because you're ultimately just right back to where we were. And if it can wipe out that bottom of the range, hold above 14, then suddenly, I mean, I sort of look at it, it's like 15, I think your risk to reward is, I mean, 1650 is the high since the beginning of the year, and that's also going to be the 50 period as well. So it does seem to me like it has that much room. Maybe not to go into single day, but if you're sort of just initiating here, that looks like sort of the obvious level that stands out. First things first, if it dips and they sell the news at the open, which I guess in this environment has been usually the case as opposed to breakouts, then I'm sitting in front of that cluster. 1325 is my target to buy in front of.
All right, let's go to Bank of America because they were the first this morning to report BAC out with, decent numbers right across the board for BAC. It's not one of the typical, high flyers, big movers. Just looking at Etsy here as well. There was an upgrade on Etsy this morning, so not doing anything in the pre-market. But thoughts on Bank of America here, guys?
Well, before we do anything, I want to get ready to throw to Valeria. So if we can do that right now, because there's too many people watching and not too many likes. So maybe we're not doing a good enough job, but I know somebody that will cheer us all up. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, please help us to get more likes. Indeed, we are doing a great job, Sean, you guys especially, and team, we need your support from our trading community. We have more than 4,000 people watching, not 1K likes even, and it would be so great if we get 2,000 likes before the bell for the luck and for the positive day, guys. Back to you.
All right, Ms. V, thank you, Ms. V. Yeah, so all the banks starting to go. There it is. So we'll see if we get to 1,000 likes very, very soon. There it is, 1,000 already. So thank you so much for that one, Ms. V. All right, so yeah, Bank of America. Oh yeah, we have these nasty candles here. Again, it's been beat down a little bit over the last couple of days. We've seen JP Morgan come out, WFC come out. Everybody came to the party and everybody disappointed pretty much. BAC today and Morgan look like they're bucking the trend, making moves back up to the upside here. So I didn't really pan through the numbers like I said that for the other ones. I'm just going to try to use some technical analysis and look at them and judge it by then because, Goldman was down 10% on probably their best quarter. So I don't really know what to say about looking at any numbers. You just kind of got to, play the momentum here. And this BAC is big time to the upside. So you have a 48 bid right now. I think that's going to be a good one for you if you want to take that. Obviously, when you're trading bank stocks, we've already taken 15 cents on Morgan Stanley, but now we're out of the money 23 cents. So it's been just kind of a little bit choppy here this morning, but you could definitely see the trend is to the upside. If you look at a 20 period chart, we made that bottom at 46, and we have a bunch of stuff right here. 48, 80, 49. So if you get to those levels, I think that you could start to short around here. I'm going to be shorting Morgan, but I think that BAC in and around this level, 49, up to 49.50 worth a short. I just don't know if we go back to as if banks never reported again, which would be back up to 50. So if you don't think a stock is going up to 50, then, why not short in here, 49, 49.60, something like that. I just don't think that we have that kind of a run in it today. Does BAC go up 10%? I don't think so. But like I said, it's been lazy. I haven't looked at it. I haven't done any work on their numbers. So I'm just going to trade sort of the momentum here. And if it comes up to 49.50, 49.60, then I believe that's a fade. And we'll do that. So that's what I'm waiting for on BAC. But I don't know if it moves $1 higher than this, but we'll see what happens on open. Just quickly before I throw to you, Neil, we haven't looked at the imbalances yet. Maybe there's something on here.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah, very, very small, but whatever. There is a bid on there, so that's probably propping this name up. AT&T, yeah, there's absolutely nothing else. I mean, there's Morgan, just because we talked about Morgan. They're there as a buy as well. Virgin Galactic is a buy, probably at a lot lower than this. Ford is 24.60, which is nice. Other than that, I don't see anything. But yeah, BAC leading the way to the upside, but I still think you can short here.
Just looking at that range in BAC, if it got to 50, it's got to be a fade in front of that level, I would think, and maybe it gets there. I'm not betting that it does. We got a super chat from Nick. And he's asking, it is a bit of a repeat. We've talked about SBEV, but I don't mind coming back to it because I took the scalp trade and just looking at this range that it made pre-market. This is 440, bottom of this here about that 420 level. So when it retested this on the pullback from 5, I scalped it, but I'm literally stopping it out at the bottom end of this range. Why? Because this is kind of set up like a head and shoulders. Previous level 470, it tried to break back out to get to 5. When it can't do that, I then step away from it, and either it can hold 4 at the open or it can break back up to 5. Now, I will play 5 in both directions. I'm pretty much always going to do that with a pre-market high when you've had a pullback like this. So I think it's shortable off the 5 level and then break out into a long. And I'd say the same thing about Vinco Ventures at that 550 to 560 level that we talked about yesterday. It's just as a day trader, when you're active, you can go both directions. So if I can short Vinco at 45 or something in that 40s range, be able to get out of it and reverse if it takes out that 60, fair enough. And I can do the same thing with SBEV. Those are two that I am watching. As they're doing fantastic volume, so this should be on the radar. That's Splash Beverages. Brendo?
Hi. Let's go. I was just watching this VVOS, also just popping back up here. I mean, there was news out early on this morning that caused this move to 2. Huge rip, though, all the way up to 280 there, half a percent, 50%, I should say, for VVOS. I don't see anything additional. But that was a lot of volume that just came in there up to 280. So 3, the big level over here on the daily chart. If you are watching VVOS, all right, Lucid, everybody has been talking about this. It's much anticipated lockup, the largest chunk of pre-IPO shares coming for sale or eligible for sale at the open this morning for Lucid, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been waiting for this for a while. We talked about this even with Daniel Shea on our show even the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, this is shouldn't be by surprise to anybody. It's not to us. This is why you're only going to see, well, we'll see. I mean, I could change up the game here. It's too bad we have these wicks. Maybe if I zoom, there you go. I've only been shorting. We broke through VWAP here at 39.90. That was a pretty easy short. Punched it to the short side. We'd rather have been, in it closer to 40, but that was a good take there. Down, so that's the first, 15 cents, and then that's 50 cents, and then we reload the position, and now you're kind of barcoding down here. So, the writing's going to be on the wall. It's either going to come out as a big sell or it's not, and it's going to start to move to the upside. We've seen Lucid do something real funny before. It was right down here, and I remember this day. It was a big, I think this was one of the first lockups, or there was something about expiry back here where we went all the way down to 15 and then closed at like 20 something. Although this thing makes it look like we closed at 18, but I guess maybe that's true. Down to 15, up to 18, and then it was like take off to the upside here, and then it was like no looking back from that point until now, where we've got a decision to make, right? So now you see lockup coming. The thing about it is the Saudis, the PIF, their fund, own 67% of this name, and they've come out and said they're not selling, which kind of makes sense, right? The Saudis obviously into oil, so why not put a big investment down on what could be, the next big thing. I'm not going to sit here and say the Lucid Dream's not going to be huge, or no, the Dream is a model. What's the Lucid car? It's the Lucid.
Ocean, right?
Ocean, yeah. No, that's the Fisker
no,
Ocean.
Fisker's
Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. As we go to the downside here, Lucid could be a big winner, and I'm not expecting the Saudis to sell. But 67%, it's 1.6 billion share float or something? That's a hell of a lot of shares, man. They can, if they only decide to sell 10% of their holdings, this stock tanks. So, let's not hold what they said for exactly to be truthful, although I'm sure it's truthful. It's just they may decide to get out. Lucid's been on a huge run. The chart looks fine up here. If I had a whole boatload of shares to sell, this would be the day I do it on lockup. Even if you bring this thing down to $38, $36, I still think they'd be happy with that considering where their investment is. So let's wait to see what the PIF does. But you can see it's starting to make a move to the downside, and we're just going to crack this out, man. We're bidding right now. I mean, this is a good trade for us. We're bidding down here at 11s. We're now short 45s. You could see that. So, I mean, again, you can make one trade, and we've talked about this. One trade and done, man. I mean, all you had to do was short Lucid. The writing was on the wall today, and here it comes to the downside. Let's just not get burned when it reopens. Let's be ready to get this out. If we rip up and take out like the highs here of 40.25 or something, we don't need to be in this, right? You can be wrong and get out. So let's wait to see what happens with Lucid. I am on the bid, and I want to punch 39 short. So let's see what happens. I'm ready to punch 39 short. I'd rather do it at open with only 15 minutes left. Hopefully that comes sooner rather than later, because the position I want to put on is a bigger one, and I'd rather do that in the open market. So here it comes. Let's go.
It's not going to wait.
It's not going to wait. We're at 11 right now, so that's where my bid is. I'm bidding in here in 11, so hopefully it'll run down. I wasn't on NASDAQ, unfortunately, and we'll get filled there. I don't even know. There it goes. Oh, wow. Okay, a big move down. I might have to cancel this because I'm going to be oversized on the short, but wow, what a nice win so far for Lucid, man. That was, I don't know if there's going to be an easier trade ever on the wall, Neil.
I mean, I can't say it was easy for me because the level that I wanted for this stock was 41.50 and 43. I have it drawn on my chart here. Now, I did get in on the 39 break because the only things I was watching was 39 break, this is the level there, 41.50, that's that level there, and 43.50. And it's something we talked about yesterday. So if the 39 break does come in, I want to make sure I'm getting some out to scalp it, because if this pops, to me, it's like it's a short into 41.5, but this break, you can't hold on to it forever because it's already come down. That size is gone, or at least it hasn't followed any further. That was at 39.75. But, Lucid, I'm going to like it multiple times today. This breakdown trade, I'm not going to go to the grave with. I think we have 15 minutes until the open, so plenty of room for it to run back up to that 40 level, but 41.50 is the first line in the sand that I'm drawing.
Yeah, it hasn't even done a million shares yet either. So lots to come potentially here for Lucid. Let's go to Morgan Stanley. I mean, the daily chart's a mess on MS the past couple of months or so anyways. But 100, basically the center of this range over here on the daily chart. Interesting level here for MS. It struggled there before. If you missed any of this move up, this is a big move, guys, for Morgan in the pre-market.
Yeah, but it's sort of like we said, it's the last report, and that's going to be a part of it. Like here, it would have been a different story if you were reporting a couple of days ago, leading some of the banks. It's similar to BAC. Now Morgan gets to this 100. Well, okay, it's not there yet, but it's getting to this $100 level, so right back towards the ranges from before. And you look right to what the previous, I guess, support on the top end of the range here for that week is right at that 100 level here. Some chop, much like BAC at 50, which I think would be an overextension. And Morgan at 100 is a little bit too close to my liking, and maybe it's the bias talking, but I'd rather short BAC at 50 today than just sort of stick it in front of Morgan at 100 even with this coming at the open, because I wouldn't want to get stopped out at 9:30 and make a top wick. So I'll let it trade off the open, and then if it gets into this consolidation like 101, maybe that's a better place to jump into the trade. Look, I still like their earnings. I think they did really well. I just rather have it settle down here. It just feels it's a little bit of a punch right into that resistance up at that 100. It just almost seems so easy that it's a trap, and a lot of times that means it's a trap.
Guys, today, everything seems to be pretty easy, man. That SoFi seems to be super easy. I mean, they get the news we wanted, so you go long, right? I mean, that's pretty simple. And congratulations to all of you guys as well that just crushed this. I mean, there's not, like I said, today, man, there's not really too many easier trades than everything that we've done. I mean, we absolutely just destroyed that Lucid on the downside right there. So that was a great trade for us. We hit it hard, like I said, through that 39. We just took a piece out there at as it went back to the upside. So remember, all these coming in are all us getting out of this trade. So, we were short, and then we hit that short at 99. We actually get the 99 print, and then we just get out. Our best out is like 83, 84, 85, and then as it goes back up, we take some 02s and some 05s, and now we're holding 12% or so of this position, this one. So, a nice move to the downside there. We'll see. This is just giving us reload opportunities back up here to 39.50. So I think that's going to be good. SoFi continues to work, man, to the upside. We're going to let that go. And then, I have the same ideas for Morgan. We're short. We're out of the money 30 cents. Well, that's on the bid. The spread is the problem right now. The spread is 30 cents. So, well, now it's 20 cents. But as the spread opens up, obviously you're going to have to, take some lumps there. But we'll see as it opens up here. I have bids much lower on Morgan Stanley. So we just got a 99 bid. So now I'm officially, out, I guess, 30 cents, so 37 cents. We'll see if it's already takes to the bottom. We've already took here 20 cents on this trade when our average price was 98.20. So we're just averaging into Morgan Stanley. My first bid on this is back 98.50. So if we can get another drop down into here, then we will take another 15 cents or so as here it comes right back in. And wow, what a morning this has been for us, guys. I really, really hope that you've had some of these positions that we've all had, because this has been a big, big morning. And let's just wait to see what happens. Still 10 minutes to go, and we're pretty jacked up here.
All right. Positive note from Piper Sandler this morning on Tesla ahead of earnings next week. So heads up on Tesla today. They actually increased not only Q4, but deliveries for 2022. Their forecast for deliveries for Tesla. So trying to go higher here for Tesla. Let's talk about Digital World Acquisition Corporation. Monster move yesterday, obviously on huge volume. It was the highest volume day yesterday since way back in the beginning of December. For this thing. Here we are up another 5% for DWAC.
Yeah, so I mean, the top yesterday came in at that $90 level. It broke 90 pre-market. It got close to 95, which, if you remember on the 15-minute, I actually have to go back a little bit further on the daily chart. If you go back to 95, the last time that it went absolutely parabolic, you did have resistance at that price. It broke down through, and that's where you got this last little run that we've been on. So 90 to 95 is, I guess, the range that is going to matter for me today. If we break 90 to the downside at the open, you probably have like a couple dollars worth of a scalp there. But unless you're taking a breakdown trade, I think you got to wait for 95 to be your, if you're taking a short, the line in the sand. And then it also plays as a potential breakout. I think if you're looking support, it's managed a decent way of holding higher lows, at least for now. I'm looking at that morning high from yesterday at about 84. If it holds that level, I think it can be off to the races a little bit. And so, I'm not sure. I paid for shorts, but I'm not forcing my way into this trade. It's not breaking 90s as we speak. It's at 91, as a matter of fact. So a 90 break downside, that's a pure breakdown trade. I want to be in and out as fast as I can of that. Otherwise, it's waiting for the 95 level. SBEV, I did get out of it, and it's now come right back towards the top. As I said with Vinco Ventures, I was going long on this before, but the $5 level, I am shorting in front of it. I am also looking for a break of 5 even to reverse to a long.
So we do diamond hands right now for Morgan Stanley, because now that is 40 cents in the money. So wahoo, that one. And we're going to try to have a perfect morning here. We'll see, though. We're just into Palantir as well as Morgan starting to go back to the downside. Now 40 cents in the money on Morgan Stanley on that short. Hopefully you guys have had that. Yesterday, DWAC, man, we felt a little bit like Superman because we wound up taking that $9 winner there on this name. In and out early there. In and then out for 50 cents as we thought it was going to tank there early once we got in, but it didn't. Good thing we got out for 50 cents, held that for $4, then took another long and out, took another long off that bottom, which was 79. Out there. And then we wrote it on our sticky note today, and we basically made it as simple as possible here for DWAC. And it was just, we had some huge trades yesterday. There's support at 80. So let's see now what happens at 100. So I haven't really been able to see much. We'll watch DWAC here off the open, but yesterday was an absolute monster. It was your trade of the day yesterday, and you can see here today, it could possibly be that again. Why not take a 94 break? I mean, the retail's in this name. It continues to climb higher and higher and higher. It's just, and again, talk about an easy trade. Like, yesterday was pretty easy. You never really would have gone short. Maybe here, which would have given you an out anyways at 83. And then today we'll see. And what I mean by easy, everyone knew retail was in this space, right? So obviously as it comes closer to February 21st, people like 100 levels. So let's see if we can get back up to 100. And we reloaded on LCID up there just as we said, man. Look at that reload, 39.45. Now our average price is 25. So Lucid comes right back down. We got a better position on. Let's see where we go here. Wow, SoFi, Palantir, Lucid, and Morgan, Brendan. It's a busy one. We need this market to open.
Yeah, lots to look at this morning. 5 minutes to go here, about 5 minutes back. BKKT, crypto-related news on BKKT this morning. Back to 620 was the high there in the pre-market, 625. Just be aware, this is 590, 580, 590, and then 620 above that. There's probably $1 of space up to about 720, 725. So just be aware on this one, BKKT. This thing has come off a lot. All-time lows essentially yesterday for BKKT. So it might be time for a little bit of a bounce on this one, guys.
Yeah, so by the way, Gus got into SBEV. It's approaching that $5 range. Got 88s. I like the 5 for reversal. Backed, I was looking at maybe at like 650. Wow, SBEV already through 5 in the reverse. I'm going to see if I can't get a scalp trade. Got to start taking out. I would flip the level 2, but I want to make sure that I get my orders out before I do that. And again, like we're live trading here. So just made sure that I quickly covered for the scalp trade. Now holding half the reversal on SBEV. Like I said, I'm going to go both directions. Moves about 14 cents and slippage. I've already sort of made that back because it just popped into 520 on SBEV. So it's been two longs and one short. Now I'm on the long side of the trade and kind of wanting to stick with it. I also just got Activision, but I'm taking 2 shots at this. First in front of 82. The second trade on Activision is going to be in front of 81.50, the bottom that it made in yesterday's action. Again, at some point I think, the value becomes almost too good to be true with ATVI, and I get it. There's obviously regulatory concern. That's why it's trading at such a ridiculous and sharp discount. So ATVI starting to bounce a little bit. I can quickly show you that as SBEV just settled down. Wow, that's a crazy spike. That should not have given me a win like this.
Okay, Lucid just spiked up, and I actually accidentally got out there. I didn't mean to have, I meant to have this order out. It was a breakthrough VWAP there. So we'll try to get a little bit back in here on that play. We did not, I just wasn't expecting it. The spread really, I don't know if you guys saw that there. The spread opened up huge on Lucid. So this is going to now it's fine, but it opened up 50 cents on that move. So we'll have to wait to see now where Lucid goes. We're short at 47. We were short at 37 or something before. So we did take a hit there on Lucid. So if you're counting, it does go back up to the upside there. We averaged in. Now let's see where Lucid goes. We still have our bids lower, obviously. So if those can come in, then we're cash money on that one. And then look at Morgan right now, guys. Morgan Stanley, this is a good win for us, man. Here, we're already 44 cents in the money. Let's see how far Morgan wants to come to the downside right now. And again, we don't show our share sizes, but we're defending that 100 level. So obviously, you put the bigger size there. Let's wait to see what happens now with Lucid back up here near 40 bucks. There has to be a kill spot in case Lucid does make a move to the upside. So why not 40-40, something like that? It's going to be wild. And you shouldn't be trading Lucid. Honestly, if you have a 20-cent stop or something, don't trade Lucid because it's going to be that violent off the open here, and you probably could, get wicked back and forth and around. So I think 40-40 club is a good area to get out of Lucid here if that does go. So like I said, man, you got to give this one some room. You're not going to go short 39.80 and get out at 40 break. I mean, unless your share size is huge, I just think this is going to be pretty violent. We're already moving around. So all I can say is let's go Lucid right now with 2.5 minutes to go. And well, yeah, what about SoFi right now? You want to go back to one of the easiest plays that we just talked about there. SoFi ripping right now up to, this is a daily chart, sorry. SoFi right now ripping up to this 1460 mark. So we are at a nice day high level right now as SoFi putting in work, 11.5 million shares. SoFi now up that 20% like we mentioned before where we sort of thought it belonged. So SoFi with a nice rip to the upside here, guys. Congratulations to SoFi and their team and to all of you guys, especially anybody that got it today or even better, yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's $12. What a fluke that was going to end up being. ATVI, this was the spike. It actually went right to 12 even, and it's settling right back in, so it's quickly giving like a 40 or 50 cent win. And it's not your normal buyout. Like, it's not moving 4 or 5 cents at a time in a tight range. This is going to move 50 cents, dollars in some of these moves here. So, you know, it is along at 12s, not at 02s in front of 82 even. SBEV, and one of the reasons why I'll always scalp some of this out is you get the break, takes them out as it just comes right back into 5. I want to have an amount that I can hold at the open back towards this 475 level. I think that's the next level. Hopefully it can hold a higher low and continue its breakout. I have some offers in front of 550 for SBEV. Vinco Ventures looked like it was maybe going to make a bit of a pop. That has now not happened. And it's getting close to that level where maybe this is a day this heads into the downside. It's not nearly as strong as it was before. I'm waiting to short it on a pop, but I might get a little bit impatient at the open if this trend continues. And you will see me in and out of that Z GNX from time to time here. That's a new deal today. 26 plus a contingent value right. And DWAC looking for a 90 break and then to the downside for a scalp trade, and then looking for 95 to both fade in front of and then break out. 45 seconds to go. That's a lot to cover. We get the open. It is a Wednesday. It's actually hump day. I haven't even said that once because it doesn't feel like a Wednesday today because it's a holiday shortened week, but plenty to look at, plenty moving. And we didn't even talk much about like some of the other EVs, like the related Rivians, which, I mean, look, if Lucid starts to go, if you're trading Rivian and Lucid starts to crack down, I don't think we have to tell you that maybe you should watch out for any shares in Rivian, but I kind of feel like the day trader is going to be looking at Lucid today. Not really stretching the imagination with that.
Nope, and we're already out of SoFi right there at 50, so we took a nice little 50 bid offer right there and got out as we're getting ready to crack. It's only 4 seconds left right now, so 3, 2, and 1. We actually forgot to look at what that Lucid imbalance was, but we'll see where it's going right now. Palantir just cracks lower there, breaking lower. Oh, off the open. Darn it. That was a wick bottom there. We should have realized that when this got opened up, this would happen. So let's get back into Palantir, guys.
Yeah, and immediately Lucid testing right back into the upside. I did still get those shares of ATVI, which is running. But DWAC broke this 90 level to the downside. I just got the fill, not on the way down, but on the way up, which is usually not the way we want to get it. I'm going to quickly throw a tight stop at 90.50. And this, 50 cents, 60 cents is a very, very tight stop on something like a DWAC. But I just want it in place in case we get this move down. And if I'm trying to hold it to less than 50 cents worth of a hit, on that downside, maybe 70, then I want to make sure I'm taking profit in front of this like 88.50 area. So DWAC starting to retrace. SBEV also starting to come back in. I wanted an amount that I could try to hold back towards 475 at the open. We're right here at that 475 right now.
All right, so we reloaded Lucid here at this level, but I thought I just got out some at 86, but I did not. So I am bidding down here on Lucid in the 80s. We reloaded that trade. We already have our out 40.50. It looks like it's going to get taken out. Only 1.75 million shares. So I guess the Saudis are right, man. They didn't come here to mess around with Lucid today. They're just going to hold those shares on the lockup. So, hey, looks like it'll be a big hit if we go back up to 40.50, which is fine. I mean, that's why, you know, like when we punch short at 39, we get out, like, and it's scalping. So you got to understand how you're trading. And that's why I have a 40.50 as my out. I just don't want to hold it back up there. We'll see what happens. And unfortunately there, that was silly. We shouldn't have had a stop order in on Palantir off the open, but we did get stopped out and reloaded to the long and then just took some out at 98 there. So hopefully that one will continue to work, as it looks like right here, Lucid's going to take out that 40.50. So that will be the end of that one here for Lucid, as it looks like it just wants to, there it goes, just wants to keep going to the upside here for Lucid. So we'll reverse into a little bit of a long. It doesn't really look like it wants to go up though, but yeah, getting thrown around here a little bit on Lucid, but Palantir not getting thrown around at all, barbecuing up those profits.
Yeah, so it took the scalp on Lucid and then stopped out the first trade with a tight stop, and I'm going to go with the same thing again at 40 until it gets to 41.50. That's the first line in the sand. I'll go back to DWAC very quickly here. I caught the first leg out right at this little hump, 88.50 that we just talked about. It then spiked down and held the line at 87. So I'm looking at that level.
Wow,
we talked about there being a potential dip. 87 already holding like gangbusters on DWAC. So might have got greedy on that short. It gave $2.50. I didn't take it the first time. I'll take it if I can get it again.
Wow, guys, you might have heard me there, because I just feel like super lucky on, not lucky, but that just ripped up there. We were able to get something out there near 41 bucks on Lucid as we are now in the long on Lucid. And check out Morgan Stanley in your face, Banks, right now as Morgan Stanley down to 97. Yes, sir, a $2 winner on board for Morgan Stanley here today. Wow, did that one collapse to the downside? Yes, sir, I'll take another. Morgan Stanley collapsing as we thought. So, wow, I didn't think it'd go this far, but that's a big move, man. We just got some out of 98 down to 97 now. Okay, 97.60 we're out, but that's a good trade there as now Palantir all the way back up. That's embarrassing. I can't believe we had that, but yes, sir, Palantir with the win as well. Wow, good day today, guys.
Yeah, not going to complain at all. That Vine stock just popped up to 750 and then immediately flushed. So looks like that's a huge capitulation candle. I'm surprised it didn't even attempt to go into a halt state because that's 10%. Either way, this now tries to catch a bid. It's going to feel like a fade fee. I'm not sure why that did not halt. It kind of feels like it should have. I just got out of DWAC, and I'm going to get back. I'm going to get into this thing if it gets anywhere close to $7 Vine. That is way too much of a sell on that downside trade. Coming over to DWAC because that just came out there. I was able to get the 87, so the 90 break works out. I'm now looking to see if it can hold back at this 85. This pre-market low might work itself into a long. The reload on SBEV. We took 2 longs on this stock. We had a short in the middle of that. The 4th long that we just took here is going to maybe make it 50-50 as that looks to break the low of the day. But DWAC, if you can get a consolidation, 85 certainly is a good level. It's a good level on the daily chart. It's a good level on the 15. And if it can consolidate here, I think it's got another run in it. But the short already in and out.
Yeah, we're just, what a good day. I mean, we keep saying about what a good day it is, but I hope it's a good day for you guys as well. Okay, so Palantir right now, that's going to be embarrassing. We'll have to look at that. Thank you, Ms. V, for the nice little reload on said coffee. As my hands, I still can barely feel my hands right here. Let's go over to Rivian quickly. We will check out Lucid in a minute. I'm still long that name, just back and forth there. We did take a loss on that. So Rivian up to 75, kind of just bouncing around here. I don't know. Yeah, no point looking at Rivian today when we have what's happening on Lucid going down. So, all right, and look what happened to SoFi, man. Yeah, that was a good out. Now we'll average in. We got out. We basically had the low of the pre-market, then the high of the pre-market. So right there, good trade there for SoFi. But here it comes back in. We talked about 1350. So yes, sir, we are now hopefully reloaded and trying to get some of that cash as here comes SoFi right back down to 1350. This is an area that we talked about. So SoFi coming in here, maybe, wow. And we did talk about this, that the charter was probably more a buy the news, buy the rumor, sell the news type of an event. But I still like SoFi for a long here, so let's see if that can work. AMD comes in as well. What just happened to AMD there? Oh, that's Lucid, sorry. No, that was Lucid came in. Okay, Lucid came in back down through 40. That's what happened. So let's wait to see now as we're touching those lows. We got out of a decent amount when we broke back down through 40.50 as the long and the short both just kind of whipsawing here today. There's AMD. Sorry, AMD did come in. We got a nice little bottom there for AMD. Let's take $1.
Yeah, and quickly, just going over to NVIDIA, we just opened up here and it cracked that 62. I wanted to wait for the open while so much was going on there. Now that it's calmed down, we're consolidating right around that same range. We get back above this 62 range. We're only 5 minutes into the open. I'm going to try and grab along in front of that 60, but whipsaw action already. I did get into that Vine and ATVI. Oh my goodness, that's kind of. While all that was going on in Lucid, took Lucid short a couple of times and got stopped out. ATVI went all the way to 83. And then pulled back. So I might have missed a chance to get the last shares out here. I'm going to take it out in front of 83 if I get an opportunity. I just liked the long this morning on the stock because I felt it just got sold too far yesterday. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But now I want to turn my attention to what looks like a rebounding NASDAQ trying to take out the highs. And NVIDIA just got back above that 262 level. Instead of talking about it, I should have got my order in to make sure I grabbed it when it reclaimed the level. NVIDIA on the run. DWAC didn't get to 85, but it is on the rebound. And Vine, the new position for me.
Guys, AMD, yeah, you mentioned NVIDIA there. Check out AMD. How about $1.30 now in the money on AMD? Big time movement here, guys. We talked about buying that 132, like, wow, why is that not like 5,000 shares or something? What a move back up to the upside. I would never put that down there. Back up to the upside here for AMD. Wow, cracking higher. $1.50 now in the money. What up, Be Real?
Not sure how he misses yesterday, guys, but a huge move down for UL yesterday. Trying to bounce nicely this morning, 49.5, trying to hold here. Big volume to the upside once again for UL.
So Unilever is buying somebody that the market doesn't like. That's what I remember. I did read that news. I just didn't think it was going to be that interesting. Clearly it is. Vinco Ventures, like I said, I might get a little bit impatient with it. The spike to 550 might not be happening. It looks like it cannot hold above 5. You look at this 5 quarter where a consolidation and a drop down. I'm going to see if I can't short in front of it. If this is the day in Vinco, so be it. It already had a rejection at a key level yesterday at 560, so maybe it doesn't even have a run in it today.
See ya, SoFi, hello.
Money.
I mean, guys, like, honestly, there's, you know, it comes down to some levels, and we're just taking shots, man. I mean, that's what you're doing here as a trader, right? I mean, look at AMD, $1.75 now in the money and still going up. Already scalps them out. Lucid, bad trading today for Lucid, but, you know, I told you we'd be on this name, and here we are again. We just took some more profit on that long, but it's still bouncy. We'll have to look at that. Look at Palantir, 27 cents in the money right now, right? Bang to that one. Check out Morgan Stanley. Holy, oh my God, it broke back above 98 and we got out. Tank City down to 97, guys. Morgan Stanley printing cash. Palantir printing cash. SoFi printing as well today. So let's see. Does SoFi, I don't want to get out of any more of this. Let's see if SoFi, make sure I don't have an offer. I do have an offer at 89. So we'll take the 89 and then we'll see if it can go back up to the upside. 1420, 1430. Come on, SoFi. Fill this guy at 89, guys. Let's go up to the upside. Yes, sir. We take our biggest position in SoFi, literally 5 times what we had over here. Why? Because we came down to that 1350. Brendan, it's all about picking your levels, my man.
A lot of volume coming into open door here, guys. We had another flush there off the open through $10 even. It looks like maybe some stops got run. Back above 10 though, but you can see monster volume here for open door at the open.
Wow, that's a big flush to the downside. I just took advantage of the last little spike in ATVI there, right back into this 82.80 area. So I'll probably put a trade back in on the long side, but I want this thing to settle down. It gave you the spike off the higher low from yesterday's action. I think once you've taken that, you know, sort of back off, take the profit and run. Same thing with DWAC. It's right back into this 85 level. It barely broke it. So it got, I look at like 84.90, it looks like. So it barely broke that level, then it recovered. I was looking for the long the first time. The second time through, I'm always a little bit more picky. But this could be it. Like, we had the short off of 90. It already gave you the win. If it now can hold this low a second time, I'll give it a shot. Otherwise, you know, like maybe its day is done if it can't hold this 84.90 area to the bottom. But I did want to take a shot on this stock at the long at some point, and this looks like it has to be it here.
Okay, guys, and what about Lucid right now breaking through 41? Let's go longer on this one if we can. Breaking through 41, LCID. We are long this name again here on that break. Go, baby. How many shares do we have? Yes, sir. We've got a nice amount here as we just scalping this out. Up to 41.20, guys. We're long at 41.05. Yeah, the dream is alive on Lucid as we hit that scalp through 41, up to 41.20, man. Let's go. Let's go, Lucid. Yes, man. Good revenge trading here on Lucid today. As we hit the short, and now guess what? We hit that long. This chart's going to look crazy, but we are long right now. Lucid on that 41 break, and we put on shares, man. We're not sitting here trying to just whatever this. We're trying to make some money. So a nice little long back on Lucid, and all I'm really trying to do is make back what we've already lost here on LCID, and we almost have done that. So there goes Lucid, a nice trade long through that area. AMD long, Palantir long, SoFi long. Today is a good day, says Ice Cube, as Randy is back in the building.
Yeah, the Supersonics beat somebody on that day. It was the Lakers and the Supersonics on Ice Cube's good day. But Lucid, for me, the next level up was 41.50. You're going to see it get to 41.43, which means I am short here in front, 41.35. I just scalped some out in front of 41 even. I might take another leg out here. The market's starting to go a little bit, so I might take another leg out and then see if we can't hold it back to what was the previous pre-market high here in front of that 40 level. So if it does, like a bit of an iceberg there, it just sort of held the 40 level. So if I can get another leg out in front of it, I'll do that and then hold the rest for 40.20. If it breaks 41.50, I don't even know if I like this stock until it gets all the way to 43.50, which is the next level up. I can tell you DWAC tried that long in front of 85. It then broke 85, so maybe it's just a short there. I did go short initially. I thought we'd have a bounce in it at 85 even, but I'm not going to give away the profit that we made on DWAC on the short side of the trade. So I take my out and then go back to the drawing board in DWAC. Maybe it is that short day. Vinco Venture is basically flat here at 95, and I'm into that Vine, but it's not really doing much of anything as well. I can tell you, where is NVIDIA here? Yeah, that was me. sort of yapping away at the 262 and NVIDIA, but it's gone now. So, you got to get on the bid in front of it before talking, which I did not do. It's already at 265, and I'm not going to be chasing NVIDIA here. Just going to manage the names that we have. Lucid, hang on for about 40, 50, and then I'll try a reload. We didn't talk about it, but just going to quickly talk about Tesla. As Lucid starts to come back in, and worth noting, Tesla just reclaimed downside that 1040 level that was pretty big. So some momentum coming southbound, which might give me that fill in Lucid pretty quickly.
All right, so we take that out on AMD here because, again, you can see the market's coming back in. We don't need to hold this. We already have a level where we can, get this again. But good trading for AMD. We had to let it go, right? We had to let it go to see if it wanted to take out some of those highs there for AMD, which it does, man. It goes right back into 134. So we should have. I don't know. I don't think we should have got out there, but, obviously in hindsight, you should have. But I still think that AMD could have a chance to go, but we are watching this market right now and bigger fish to fry. Okay, so Palantir, absolutely. That's crazy there. We shouldn't have even, I just wish we didn't have that out. Not just because it looks bad, but I just shouldn't have had that order out there. But that's fine. Once we realized we got out there at 82, we got right back in at 88 and then just, great trading for Palantir back up to the upside. So we'll see where that one goes. And then Lucid, we smelt there was a little bit of trouble there, but we got out all the way to the upside. And this is why, thank God we had our scalping hat on for Lucid, because if we had held any of these positions, we would be drastically in a much, much worse position. So right now, Lucid just continues to work for us. It's to the downside right now. We'll have to find some areas to possibly reload. But it's funny because we were talking about the imbalances and then we didn't even look to see what Lucid was at, but it's definitely not on there now. So whatever Lucid was doing is now off and there's no left imbalances. So Lucid just going to trade around a little bit. I'm holding a small spot here long at 41, trying to figure out where we want to get back in. So that's something that I'm going to have to look into right now, guys.
It's right to this level. I was sitting on the bid on Lucid, right in front of 40.50, not 41.50, trying to quickly get not even $1 on the trade. It's really just going to give me about 80 cents or so in front of that 41.50. But it is an upward trend. You're seeing higher lows. So take the pot shots. This one's going to end up working out. But it has been a, buyback in Lucid, if that's the way to even think about it, back to that upside. So finally, there we go. I actually just got to fill in something else. But Lucid looking like the bid is starting to capitulate a bit. I'm taking it out because I anticipate getting back into this, just being a little bit more active with that name. Vine starting to roll over. So I would have loved it if I could have got 750s, but it came right back to that consolidation around 680 in front of 7 even. But it has had some trouble when it gets down to this 640 area. So I will take 25-cent scalp trade. If it breaks the low, I want to be holding Vine. It's up 17%. But if you look at that gap, that's pretty clean. Break this, hopefully break 6, and you get right down into this 560 area where I think the ultimate target would be on Vine. That's the winemaking stock, which looks pretty interesting. DWAC continues to head southbound. I guess I should have just held the short. But at this point, you got to start thinking about the afternoon support level at 78.50. And I'm talking about yesterday in the early afternoon at 78.50. The late afternoon is already broken, so 78.50 on DWAC. Coming into play rather quickly here as we're already at 80. Man, I should have held that short.
Wow, guys, look at AMD right now. We just reloaded it and we just took it out. This is why, when you're taking profits on stock, you got to give yourself an opportunity to get right back in, right? There it is again, breaking through 133 and straight upside now, 134 and change one more time on AMD. Will we be smart enough now to get it out at 134 as here it goes right back up to the upside here for AMD. And that was a good reload for sure as that is mooning right now back to the upside. That was a great reload down there at 133.15 where we did have that one. But just looking at charts, I'm trying to find an area. There's nothing on the 20-minute. Either could keep on ripping or just tank again. So I don't know. The NASDAQ's making moves up. I think this is worth holding on to. But here we come back fading again. 134.20 here. Maybe we'll just take another $1 or so on AMD. Why not, man? It's a good move upside. We've already cashed out on this one. There goes AMD bouncing around 134 again.
Yeah, and Vinco Ventures makes a little bit of a pop into that 525 level right before the open where it was. I get a reload at 15s on the way back down. I'm scalping some out in front of 5. I'm going to get bids all the way down to 45 previous targets. So that pop and fade has already come in. DWAC very, very briefly broke 80. I'm gonna go to the 15-minute chart here for you guys because it's starting to move a heck of a lot. So it barely broke that 80. This is what I was talking about. This is that 78.50 level, which could come into play. So I'm not really looking at 80 even. It was 78.50 to come into the downside. Obviously, I abandoned the short way too early, but you have to look past that and look to the next trade, which is 78.50 support for DWAC. I just was able to get Vine, so I'm not going to be looking gift horses in the mouth. I almost made that mistake on Activision. I certainly made that mistake at least a little bit. We'll see what happens. I made that mistake a couple of times on Lucid. Not going to do it again. But Vine at the bottom end right now at 648 takes them out. If it wants to break further, fair enough. But this is a morning where I think taking your profit has certainly been a good course of action. Well, it's always a good course of action. But this is definitely one with the whipsaw action in some of these names. Even if you got the right direction, it's never a bad thing to take profit. So taking some BBIG, hoping for more downside on both that and Vine. But for now, watching these settle down and start to work for us. Same thing with Lucid. It's starting to really settle down here. It already put in that top at 41.50. Talked about that as being like that first line in the sand type level. 43.50 as well, but it's holding the line right here at 40.50 even. So if it pops up, I'm willing to average it one more time or reload it, I suppose, in front of 41.50. If it breaks that, then I guess all signs are headed towards it, going to that 43. It's up on the day, right? So, this is one where it's been highly anticipated and maybe it was a crowded trade. Remains to be seen. The first real pullback has happened here, and if it can't follow through, of course, as I say it, it just followed through. So let's go to Brendan. That call was good luck. Finally got me out of Lucid.
Another little one just popping up here. Shift Pixie, big move today, 15%, trying to get back above 150. That high from a couple of the days back on. Decent volume as well for PAIXY, guys.
Okay, we're going to take a step here on Ford because Ford is tanking right now. We're going to see where it goes. I mean, I don't know. If this breaks through 50, it breaks through 50, but I don't know what's going on here with Ford, so we're going to take a shot here. And if, like I said, if it goes down, and we'll get out of this way ASAP.
There's a lot of
if it goes down. So I don't know what's happening right now as it's starting to go. There it is. So there it goes. Big time movement to the downside right there for Ford. So yeah, everything falling right now. Ooh, Ford just cracked lower and then right back up. So we might have got wicked out there one more time on Ford, but here it is. A lot of movement happening right now. I don't know if there's anything going on in the market, generally speaking.
So, okay, I don't know if it is, but you saw the Nikola just dropped from 950 to 875 there. I mean, I got it at Lucid, and then it just dropped all the way to $40.
Yeah, there has to be something with cars. Right
something
now
just turned these EV names to the downside pretty heavily. So it's not just Ford. I mean, you always go to when you see this happening, you go to the quality names to catch a bottom, but GM did exactly the same move from 60 to 58 in a matter of minutes here. So capitulating. I just got real lucky on ATVI.
Do we see anything, Brendan? No, obviously he's looking.
ATVI just broke 82. I actually had my stop order for when I took the long still in place. I went short, didn't want it, but that's continuing to fall. So it spiked $1 and is continuing to give it up. 81.50 is the next level down on Activision. Those are the only two levels I wanted to play alongside. I'm kind of surprised if they both break, but yet here we are on Activision Blizzard. I'm going to get in front of 81.50, but if 81.50 from yesterday goes, I'm probably done defending the stock. I'm happy to have already gotten one win. I'm not going to fight it forever. Vinco Ventures holding $5. I can tell you Vine is continuing to flush here. I'm in front of the bid at 6. If I get it, great. We'll hold down to that 560 area for the next leg out. But like you just said about Ford, I got out of Vinco. I've got out of Lucid at 40.50.
Oh hell yeah, though. It's
and
bouncing.
Then big time flush in all those names. Go to the quality one. I'm not sure what caused that spike. Maybe it was just, I don't know. I have no idea what caused that spike down. Every EV name at the same time.
I'm not sure what's going on right now, but yeah, we'll run the money right now because we've averaged into this name and we'll just see where it goes, man. We're seeking revenge on Ford. That's it. We'll see where it goes from here. We're in this position and we're just taking it out as it comes up to 62, 63. I'm not going to do much until I hear from Brendan. If there's nothing here, there's nothing here on this. But, that was a big move down and it could have been the market, but the market's fine. So I don't really know what's happening. We're averaging into Lucid right now. We're long at 40.50. All is good, but I have to go over to my man. What's up, bud?
Yeah, still looking, guys, but there was a minor recall. It looks like 200,000 cars recalled by Ford to fix a faulty brake light problem, but nothing major that I can see at this point.
Yeah, that's not it.
That move that's too big a
Faulty
move.
brake light? No.
That also wouldn't move the other names. That's the other thing too. But either way, like obviously, we're bringing it to you as it happens. SBEV it has broken that 470 level, so I did get out when it cracked here at VWAP, but it's managed to hold a higher low. It's still got this 4 to 410. I'm not to the point where I'm back into shorting it. I think it would have to hold below VWAP for a little bit, but just an update. SBEV not really trying to ignore that stock, and then Lucid's kind of been a bit of a disappointment. I think I never got my bid on SoFi. But it's starting to get pretty close. It was that 13.25 area that I wanted to buy in front of. We're now about 10 cents away from my first bid, and then 13.25 is that first tester, 12.80 at the bottom as well. I've been trying to be patient here to have that one start to come into the downside, and it's starting to accelerate even as the market's holding up. I mean, the NASDAQ's almost up 1%. I know we're looking at some names that just turned around, but you are still seeing a strong move up overall in the NASDAQ.
Guys, look at AMD. I mean, we got out and we got right back. I mean, look at these 3 ins here on AMD today. One down there, one here and out, one in again and out. So yeah, nice little trade there for us on AMD one more time. So if this market continues to go upside, maybe we get lucky and get it out at 134 again. But AMD, my number one stock by far here today. It could be Ford though. We'll wait to see. We've been scalping it out. We got a nasty dump there at 49. I don't know what happened, but it allowed us to get back in at 46. So now it's coming back to the downside. So I guess Ford, we may not have our biggest winner here on Ford. Where am I long? 47. All right. Let's take another 53. There it is. Out some there at 53 as it breaks through. So I don't know, man. We're dimes in the money. My offers are really in here in the 80s and 90s on Ford. So I don't know. I was expecting it to make a move back. And I'm drawing a line here on Lucid. 39.80 basically right in here. We're going to get out if it does break below. We'll get out of the majority of these shares. We just took another position right here, which is why my average price right now is 40.50 on this name. If we just held the short the whole time, obviously that would have cashed in as well. But back and forth for Lucid, even on such a momentous day for Lucid, you have a dollar range. It doesn't seem like makes too much sense. I mean, we open up the day here and just rip. So we open the day like 39.60 or so. We go up to, I guess it's 40. I guess we go to 41.40. So I guess there's about $1.60 in it. And we'll just see where it goes from here. As Ford trying to make a move back, I'm not into SoFi anymore. I think a break through 13.50 might trigger, will trigger me back in. I'm in it now, but a better position. Coming back in through 13.50. So let's see if that does happen for SoFi right now, and Palantir still 18 cents in the money. That also had a nice dip.
Yeah, I just missed SoFi by a couple of cents there, but I'll tell you what, I scalped some out of Vinco in front of 5. It then broke this 525 level, so when it broke, reversed into a long, and this could be it to that 550, hopefully. I mean, the trade I really wanted was trading off of 550 to 560. So hoping that a 525 break can get you there. But I'm not going to die on a sword going long into that tight of a window. I'm only looking at 20 to 30 cents before I'd start thinking about flipping it for a short. And then you got that 560 level up at the top on Vinco Ventures. I don't want to chase SoFi too far, but it did bounce close enough to the target area that I should be into it. So I might have to get a little baby piece, maybe in the 40s if it retests, but I can't say that about, Vinco, and then not get orders out in the 35, 40, 45, and then 50s, because 50 is where I want to be short. So I have to get some of this out on the way up. Again, scalping the range, 525, 550, 560 is that double top from yesterday on Vinco Ventures. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it gets there and I reverse into a short, but got to play it feels like a morning where playing the ranges has certainly worked out, unless you just had, if you had the first reversal on VWAC and held it, which I obviously did not. That's something you could have grabbed onto. Going back over to one from yesterday, I forgot to talk about this. It's getting closer to that 40 level. BBI, that penny stock, I'm only looking at that 40 to 42. There's really nothing else I'm seeing. So I shorted that at the top yesterday. If it gets up there, same thing. If it breaks, I'm just reversing into a long at 40 even. But it's starting to climb, so it is on my radar.
All right, yeah, lots of stuff popping off today. DWAC, wow, great short there for that name. SoFi does go back up through 1350. We do take a small piece, not a small piece, but get more shares. And it only goes to 56. So, yeah, it didn't really have the movement backside there. Just so you guys know, on Ford, it just doesn't look like it wants to go. So I don't, off of these longs, we've just been getting them all out. That's 55, that's 62. Up in here are mid 60s. 60s out on this long, but it looks like it wants to fade out. And look at AMD. Let's go. The money bag is in the building here for AMD. So this is the wrong one. Let's just pull out something else here where we've got like money coming through here. How about this one as the money bags go upside down there? 134.20 again for AMD. Yeah, let's just wait. Get out if it comes back up to 134.15 or so on that name as it just continues to run up. Lucid as well, finally starting to go to the upside. So that's going to be, for me, a great trade. Hopefully, if it starts to go, we're long at 37. So we're long right here on Lucid. We did average in. We took a few steps out on the way up. So now, hopefully, we have this one and we can see Lucid going back up to the upside. Come on, AMD, baby. If we can get out here around 15s or so, we'll take it on AMD as the future's trying to go. If Ford's still trying to do something, there goes SoFi. Come on, SoFi. Let's go to the upside right now as the cannons are getting fired off. Come on, SoFi. Trying to motivate this thing to get back to 14 bucks. Well, you know what this is? Yes, there's AMD. Yes, sir. Wow. This is a good day, man. I feel like this is a carnival. I've already got the trade of the day right here is going to be AMD, guys. Bang, bang, bang. All these reloads and all of these outs, man. AMD. Let's go, AMD. And let's go Lucid. Lucid right now on one. Back up to the upside here for Lucid. So a good trade. Let's get some more out as it rips up. Did we just get those 64s? No, we did not. Let's see if we can get some of that. Oh, we missed it. Let's go Lucid.
It might be putting a head and shoulders 41.50, 41 on either end of it on Lucid on my 3-minute. That TKLF, if you're looking at this halt stock, this was that IPO that was a $4, open at 40, traded all the way down to like 13. It's already halted 3 times on 77,000 worth of volume. Look, I'm not trying to trade. Like, it's just, I think your risk is too crazy on this. It's not going to be open for very long. It just seems like it doesn't have enough liquidity, and it's very dangerous. You can't really trust your stop when you're trading something like a TKLS. So that's all I really want to say about it. Lucid, it's going to be worth the reload for me if we retest that 41.50 area, but that's the level I really liked. So I tried to short off the open. The breakdown worked, but the reload, no good. Trying it at that 40 level, no good. 41.50, which I wrote down 41.50, 43.50, and if I'd only played those 2 levels, I would have gotten 1 entry. Instead, I have 3. So I'm going to hold off until I get a retest of that level. It's that or that alone. DWAC is getting very, very close to that 78.50 level that we were talking about here. So about to take out the low once again. 79.50 has been held, but this is that line where we kind of turned the corner and then started holding that support at 78.50 on DWAC. Brendan is already at the big screen. That means it's 10 o'clock, and it's time for Happening Now.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, don't blink or you miss 30 minutes, just like that. Here we go. S&P 500, 0.75 to the upside. It's the NASDAQ that's the story, though, as we said in the pre-market this morning, trying to lead. Here we go, a full percent for tech stocks back to the upside. Russell small caps showed a lot of strength initially, but are coming back in a little bit for the Russell. The Dow 0.3 to the upside as well here in Toronto, 0.3 or 0.03, I should say, to the downside. Bit of a pullback for mining shares today. Let's have a look at a couple of things we were talking about this morning. BAC off earnings. Yeah, trying to hold some levels from yesterday here. 47.5 ends up being a little bit of support. We'll see if it gets a bounce. Still up 2.7 for BAC. The other one that was kind of interesting at this point this morning was Tesla. Yeah, trying to test this level from right at the end of the day yesterday and some areas from the pre-market yesterday as well. But pretty weak for Tesla today, guys.
Tesla testing, like Cuddy ranks. Testing. Look at DWAC. I'm now actually on the bid. So it dipped below 80 one more time. So 78.50 has yet to be broken. There it is. This is probably the last time. I mean, look. Okay. This is probably the last level that I'll like to play. If it breaks down, takes me out at 78.50 and ends up being a fail break, then to me that's a re-entry the same way I would do a short trade. But this is the last level I really like to that long side. Vinco, I was able to reload some shares, still looking for it to potentially break back to the upside. And there it goes. I mean, DWAC, we've now tried twice long and should have just held the 90 short. You can obviously see now it's like $12 in the money as I keep trying to find ways to get back in on the bid. Now if it can hold up again and be a bit of a fail break, stop a few people out there at what's seemingly an obvious level, I'll try to get one more last-ditch effort to catch a bid on DWAC. But it needs to reclaim 79, and then my L would be the low of the day. Right now that stands at 78.27.
You know who did hold that short, Neil? Brendan held that short. So good trade there for Brendo. What's up to Brendan on that one? Maybe he'll review that. Oh, and he does a small cap recap. But okay, Palantir, we're just we can't be happier, honestly. Obviously, there's better days, and we're looking to make as much money as possible. There goes Palantir to the upside. Guys, I hope you're enjoying yourself today. I have over 175 trades. Like, that's nuts. So many fills. 2,000 likes. 6,200 people watching. If you haven't hit the like yet, please do it, guys. We're wearing the red and black lumberjack, but not with the hat to match. Shout out to Brooklyn. Hopefully everybody knows what I'm talking about. As right there goes SoFi back up to the upside. Let's go, SoFi. I mean, come on. I'm here cheering on your positions for you. You know, the people's trader is trading what the people want. So let's go back up to the upside here. Lucid, Ford, SoFi, AMD, everything. We absolutely, look at Morgan Stanley. See ya, banks, to the downside, man. Wow, Morgan Stanley, I can't believe that actually hit. I was bidding 95.50 as a joke. You guys heard me say that when we were up here. I canceled it and, you know, put these both at 98, thinking that Morgan was actually going to be strong today. It's weak, but we may have found a bottom here at that 95.50. So, you know, no reason why that won't hold, but we'll see here. I'm actually looking to get in to GS. I hope Goldman Sachs is down today. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to be buying some Goldman Sachs after the show. Look, I try to cheer on SoFi, man. We get some out there at 66. Let's see if it goes a little bit higher than that. And then look at Lucid right now. Yes, look at that last reload right there. Mamma mia, Lucid. You don't make pizzas, but you make nice cars. So now we're going back up to the upside here with Lucid. Let's go, buddy. Test that 41 again. You can do it, Lucid.
Yeah, the last pop on Vinco, if you're watching Vinco, last pop on Vinco got to 530. Can't seem to break any higher. I just took it out. It's a 550, 560 level or bust. Vine finally got down to $6, or at least close enough to it. Took the next leg out of that. Going to continue to hold. Watching Lucid's now finally getting back to the levels that we liked. And it's LCID. Lucid finally getting back to that 41 area, so 41.50, very much firmly in play here. The last time it got here was pretty good. We'll see if we can rinse and repeat that same price. And again, it's just more about finding the level that we like, the one that actually held up that 41.50. Going to make sure I have my stop still covering me on the upside there, and then get my short. If it gets to 30 to 35, that's kind of the target entry point, risking 20 to 25 pennies. And again, everyone traders tell I'm going to have a stop multiple times. I don't want to get too frisky, because if it breaks 41.50, I did think that 43.50 is the next level to the upside. So that's not really anything that I can hold from one to the other. It's too much of a distance till you get to that next resistance point. Coming back over, we talked about the rollover in EVs. Tesla found a bid at the quarter mark and is trying to come back. That 40 level has been pretty big every time it's gotten there. So if that comes back to 40 and starts to roll over, I'll be watching the other EV names, because if you're in the money and that turns on something like a Lucid or a Rivian or a Nikola, that could be a good barometer. But just got into Lucid, 41.31 this time. Again, only giving it to 41.50. And if you're still tracking over an AMC GME world, apologies for maybe ignoring these ones today. It's back above that 19 level, so it did get the break, goes to 19.50 and is now holding above 19. So if you have to structure a trade looking at the 15-minute, let's pull it back a little bit here, and you can quickly see it's right back to this 19. At the top end of this range coincides with this floor here at 19.50. It was a 20 break to 19.50. It was a 19.50 break to 19 to 18. So 19.50 to 20 seems like a scalpable trade, but that's a scalp trade only. The momentum not nearly as big upside as it was to the downside. So I think you want to be getting out of that 50 break if you can pretty quick.
On AMC, you're talking about?
Yeah, it's still holding up, but it's not really, it ain't running. That's
Shout out to Niagara Charlie, messaging me on Twitter and hitting it up in the chat. Thanks, Niagara Charlie. But the thing is, you can't just keep on pumping AMC. Let's get some new ideas here, too. There's Lucid, guys. $1.25 in the money. Feels like we're at a carnival here today, as this name just keeps on making crazy moves. And here it goes, right up to 40 Neil's key level here. So watch out here. I'm going to hold this because let's just see where it goes. We're already $1.25 in the money. So this is going to be a good one, but right back upside now for Lucid. Let's see how far we can go. Well, like that reload down there, I pinged out, man. I told you guys 39.80 was going to be the level, and that's why we took that trade. And look, for 25 cents worth of risk, we're now $25 cents worth of risk, $1.31 in the money. So we'll take that for sure. Maybe we don't have enough likes either, but we do have Valeria in the building. So what's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, I want to say thank you so much. We got 2,100 likes. It's
great result. It's a wonderful day, and I hope you guys catch all the opportunities on the market and in a profitable territory. So guys, please support, and let's get even more likes. If we get 3,000 likes, literally it will bring all us so much luck. I can feel it. So guys, smash the like button. Back to you guys.
Look, not even like properly wearing the mic. Yeah, that's how gangster she. You can't mess with Miss V, man. I mean, she puts the mic wherever the hell she wants. Good job there, Miss V. Wow, okay, Lucid, let's go. Here we go, man. We are unplugged today, Lucid. All the way to 42. This is a $2 in the money again. We could do trades of the day on Lucid, baby. What do we want to do here? All the way up to 42 bucks. I think it's probably worth cashing some out. This is a nice winner for me. We might have just got carried away there all the way up to 42. That's worth taking some out, guys. We missed that top there, but let's get some out in the middle somewhere and watch to see what happens. If we're lucky enough, that goes back up there. I didn't even realize that. Too busy talking with Ms. V. But what a great move that was. Up to 42 bucks. Wow, Lucid killing it today. The Saudis are, I guess, funds of their word. They said they wouldn't be selling that much, and honestly, 10 million shares. I don't think the Saudis hit a sell key whatsoever today. So lock up, no thank you. Saudis, Pratt, I need a meme for that. The Saudis took the sell key off their keyboard, so let's go.
Yeah, first of all, you guys have the dirty minds, not me. I didn't say it, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about in the chat. Lucid, tight stop, 41.50. I'm going to go that way all day long. And again, 43.50, I think, could be that next level into the upside. Vinco, it's now holding the range, so it's getting a little bit testy. I reversed, scalped along, got it all out here at 5:30, and I'm sort of done looking at that at the 1 minute chart. I'm going to go right back into the higher term chart because this is what I like. I like this 560 area here. It's that simple. It either comes and gives me the short off of this, or we're breaking bottoms. It's got to get out of this range. Either it gives me the price we want, or there's no point fighting it. I just got back into Activision because I said I would try 81.50s. That was the low from yesterday. The higher low at 82 already gave you a dollar trade, but let's see if 81.50 can hold. You are not trading Activision like your regular buyout that is not going to move. Right here, I'm going to risk about 15 to 20 cents because I'm trying to make anywhere from 30 to 50, if not even a little bit more than that. So ATVI definitely in play, but I'm going to have outs because it was so weak all morning long. There's no way I'm just going to buy an average into it like you might normally do in a buyout.
Let's go forward 7. I mean, we're just on one today. And by the way, today's lunch, which is far away, I don't know why we got this, Angus burgers with dilled Havarti. Not bad. Pickles and jalapenos. We'll take it.
I like jalapenos.
Brandon?
A couple of ETFs popping up noteworthy here because some metal prices getting a big boost today. Here's SLV on the NYSE ARCA exchange. Big move today, up 2.25%. Flip over and show you GLD as well, getting through some significant levels over here, having quite the day for GLD, guys.
All right.
Let's go ATVI. So just coming back to other, just by the way, if you're looking at, what are you, Goldman Sachs, that's the other one I was sort of talking about. It made a bottom here. It didn't get to 350, but it got to 351. You were saying, is it down? It's clawing back and trying to go negative to positive. And the pre-market low pretty much is exactly that story. It was like 354 and a half or so. So it's trying to go negative to positive, running into resistance. So a bit of a turn happening on Goldman. Looks like if it can't get above that, it might continue a little bit lower, just noticing that very quickly. And I never got into SoFi, but I did say, because it got close enough to the target entry, load, close enough to the target entry, which was in front of 1325, that I'd go a little bit in front of that, and the next consolidation is seemingly right here in the 50s, but it'll be a starter position. I don't want to get too heavy with it because 25 is that first level, so I don't want to extend too far away from it here. So I'm going to start getting into SoFi. Obviously, it did that rollover sell-off. I mean, there's that pop and fade trade, which I wasn't really looking for in SoFi. I only really wanted to buy the dip. The next leg would be in front of 1340, last ditch in front of that 25 level. And I have not taken anything out of ATVI because I can't say it's going to move more and then start taking 5 or 10 cents on it. First target's like 15 to 20, and then 30 to 35 cents, and then try to get 50 or more because I just think it can move that much, and that's what you have to be trying to capture if you're trading Activision in today's trade.
So we're still, I mean, Activision is a good name, guys. There's going to be lots of opportunity on that. So I would definitely practice up your skills on ATVI if that's something that you like. For me, it's not my cup of tea, but I know Neil will be on that for a while, so watch out for ATVI. Okay, Ford right now, it just came back upside, so we'll take that out. I had no idea what that flush was all about there for Ford, but unfortunately, we were part of it, and then we got right back in. So I'm not going to be able to make money on this unless it starts to go. So let's see if Ford now wants to go back up to the upside. Our next outs are in the 70s, high 70s. So I'm still thinking we retrace back up to VWAP, down 3% today, with the NASDAQ up 1%, ES up 0.4. So these are all good names for us. Look at Palantir up down back to the day's high. That's just such a blemish right there. That's stupid down there. Look at SoFi. Here we go. We told you we got SoFi going. What's up, Randy? Let's see if SoFi can go now. We're long at 51. It's at 71 right now on SoFi. So that's a good trade. There goes Ford. And we're very, very close, guys. I'm in the 80s here on Lucid. Maybe we just get out right here if it comes back up to the upside, like 71, 72. I think that makes enough sense to me. So we'll put an offer in the mid 60s here for Lucid. Take that smooth dollar, like I said, man. There it is, yes. So we're going to do this. Stay tuned for us at 2 o'clock. I think this could easily be the trade of the day. There's some easy opportunities here and then some big mistakes as well. So let's talk about that. I don't see any big sell candles whatsoever. Everything are bids here. So all of these big candles, man, all green buys. So like I said, the Saudis disabling the sell key today and just taking this name higher. But if that's not an indication to buy, I don't know what is. So we're going to wait to see here what Lucid does. And there's $1.70 there. So we fire off the cannons one more time for Lucid and for SoFi. As SoFi is now 23 cents in the money. We just that was what, 83? Where am I offering? 87. So yeah, because VWAP's come down. So let's put an offer at 80 just in case SoFi does a rip and a roo again. And there goes, yes, sir, there goes Ford one more time. Ford to the upside. So yeah, the money bag's coming in.
Yeah, I was just able to take some out of SoFi in front of VWAP. I never got the full position because I wanted 1330s or in front of 1325. And then Activision, like, you can't look that gift horse in the mouth today on this stock. Oh, now this won't even flip for me. Did my chart just freeze? And this one, there we go. It just popped into that 82 range. So you get 81.60s. Like I said, first leg out about 15 to 20 cents, just in between that. And then get the next leg at 81.90. So just under 30 cents. And now it's already flushing back in. So, I fought at the open because we like that 82. But let's be real. Like, Activision once again is rolling over. So there's been scalp long trades that you can take, but you got to stick to the levels because it just doesn't want to go. Like, maybe 81.50 is going to hold a second time, and I can start playing off this for some gains. But, it's been positive so far, but I'm towing the line with this thing. And at some point, it's going to break, and I cannot be missing any of these stops. So if 81.50 breaks, I'm not even fighting it any further. Vinco Ventures, I got back into it. It cracked. Just cracked a VWAP, which is this consolidation area here from the open, back into the south side of the trade. I tried the long reversal. You're going to see it got to a top of 35. It then could not break back out. So I'm back into the scalp short. I'm going to take some of this. I got 509 here. I'm going to take some out all the way from 5 all the way down to 480. That's a scalp trade. It just doesn't seem like it wants to break the range. If it doesn't want to break the range, I'm going to trade inside the range until it does. Was that? I
was like,
Brandon?
hello. No, I was just like looking over to take a drink. I look over and it's like Randy's like, look it up.
What's going on over there? Was it?
Well, it's a studio, man. Where's those blueprints?
Was there a call for Brendan? Did I hear that?
Nah, it doesn't matter. Was there, Brendo? Sure. All right, let's go to Brendan then.
A couple things. Leap Therapeutics just popping up on some data on a cancer treatment. I'll show you that in a sec, guys. Anyone watching BAC? The conference call, the earnings call, is 11 o'clock this morning, so a little bit later than typical for BAC. But this is that LPTX just popping back through. $3, guys.
Conference calls, my vote would be that all conference calls happen before market or after market. Why do they have to do it like during the market? But anyways, that's how the market works. I just saw someone in the chat was like a firm short trader formerly known as Frodo Baggins. So you know that I kind of have liked this one, and every single day that the market has popped a little bit, please show the trades. Yeah, thank you. So I don't think I've gone long a firm since like last year. Yeah, that's 100% true. Like, I definitely have only been favoring the short trade on a firm. So there hasn't been a long, but it's only been at key levels. And I understand, like, you're looking at that double top at 67. I love it at 68 because I think I know where I'm wrong. And this 68.50 area here from the last time it broke down, saw some ghosting in the chart, but that's the level I'd be looking at. I did think there would be a bit of a bounce in the NASDAQ, and if there's a bounce in the market, I'm more careful with the levels that I like into the short side of the trade. So, it's not quite there for me, but when the market rolls over, I've definitely been changing my mind. Like if we turn negative or get some acceleration to the downside, this is a name that I've been picking on from a valuation standpoint, just because it like SI, I think just feel like it has room to that downside. And going back over to SoFi, just to manage that position, it did bounce off VWAP here, but it's still, it's got some room to maybe get back towards that bottom before I want to reload on this name. I'm down in front of 1340 to try to catch a bit of a bid. I just got some shares of Vinco Ventures out in front of 5. It's trying to make another break to the lower end of the range. And, it sort of is what it is here. Like, if I'm taking another long on Vinco, it has to be breaking at 560. Like, show me the 560 break, and I probably didn't show you guys what that looks like. This is what 560 looks like, on your 15-minute chart. But on the daily chart, it also looks gorgeous on the daily. And I've been trying to, scalp these little in and out trades for the long. I'm just going to try and work the short until it wants to break that 560. I think that's a huge level. And it probably, given the run, it's $2 to that 560 level. It probably needs a pullback day. And why not? Why fight it? Just go short until it breaks 560. 560, look at the runway it has if it took out that level. But you know what? It hasn't done it yet, so I'm shorting it.
Yeah, and that's what we need, guys. We just need reasons to do things, right? And I mean, today we've been doing pretty good with some of these reasons. I may get out of my AbbVie. Why would I get out of this name? I don't know. Maybe I won't.
It's a good dividend stock. Why would you cover that?
Yeah, this is a great stock. I mean, just because of the way it's been moving, man. I'm like almost more than 100% in the money on this name. So, when you have, I don't know, where's my daily charts? I think everything's pretty much down, but, I'm more than 100% involved in this name, and I haven't taken anything out. So this is a name that I've been buying at $60. I looked yesterday, it was like 115% or something in the money on this name, but you do collect that big dividend right there. I was about to say something else. But 138 to the high side there, that's a high. I mean, maybe we'll get out of this if it breaks through 132. But again, what goes up sometimes can come down. And we called the bank destruction as well last week. And that's been obviously to the downside here with XLF. XLF's not down too much, but you've seen the banks and what they've been doing. Obviously, Morgan Stanley was a high of 108 or something like that. So you've pulled back like 20%, right? And I don't know anybody that took profits on any of these bank stocks because it made sense to hold them. And there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with buying some of these banks off of these real horrible earnings. And I don't think the earnings are that bad. It's just the reaction to these earnings have been pretty horrible. Morgan at one point today was up 6 or 7%. And we shorted that name and took that money. And now you're back down to 95.50 again today for Morgan. And this is what I mean. Maybe it was 107 was the high. I don't know anybody took any bank profits on the way up because it made sense. So I'm thinking now we either have a couple more days of a flush. We're already below the 200 period. Like I said, if you've sat in banks here, guys, if you've sat in banks, you get the same price. So you're giving everything back to last June, right? So you're giving back 7 months. You could buy it today. I like banks, and I think we'll be doing some buying here after the show. So we'll nibble in. I'm going to pick Goldman most likely, but nothing wrong with some Morgan. I'm already into JP as well, but I've been selling that on the way up. My best out on JP Morgan was 156. Which is kind of where it is now. So SoFi back moving again. Did you want to talk?
Before we go to Brendan, I just want to quickly say, make sure, understand, we say bank, and I know they're all banks, but there is a distinctive difference between, banks that lend. Like the Canadian banks, like to me, like those, they're just a little bit more of the lending and a little bit less of the trading. So in the raised rate environment, some do better than others. And I think that's why you'll see outsized pullbacks in things like JPM and Morgan Stanley that aren't happening to some of the regional banks, that aren't happening to the Canadian banks. So they are two separate buckets, even though we'll talk about them as one. Brendan's going to talk about a name that, I'm not saying we forgot about it, but back in play. One name at the board here, Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. Lots to look at. Bakkt was back to the upside on some crypto news this morning. 620 we talked about was the top of the pre-market, and then this kind of 580, 590 range ends up being resistance. was very, very whippy off the open. Spreads opened up kind of thinly traded, gets all the way back to 6. So I took half of my original position out, got back in once it got back below that 580 area. So I still have most of this. This is a bit of a problem down here. Volume already drying up on BKKT. We'll move on to Vine, one and done, just breaking pre-market support to the downside. Gave you a quick trade again, volume already. Kind of skeptical on Vine. SBEV, yeah, I got caught in that news. As I said, the volume that came into the downside initially was what got me involved, and then it just kind of blasted right in your face. If you did get short on that break to the downside, we go all the way up to 5. I waited until we get back below 450. Now it's just kind of leaking. Still have some of that left over as well. And then, did I put yet? No, that was the last one. I was going to talk about one more, but lots of things to look at this morning, guys. Back over to you.
All right. Let me see if we have Justin coming here today. What day is today? The 19th. Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep thinking it's, no, we do have Justin, the marketing guy, coming up at 10:45. Justin, the marketing guy, coming through as well. So that'll be 20 minutes for Justin, and he'll be here. Okay, so SoFi, just to let you guys know, it does make a move back up to the upside there. We let it drop all the way to 50 again, and then boomed it out right there, back upside 1370. So SoFi today has been a pretty good one, man. We could also talk about this for the trade of the day, but all we're really doing is reloading off levels that we like, man. 1350, we put on our biggest position right here, and then just take it out on the way back up. Obviously, we wish for everybody that SoFi was a hell of a lot higher than it is right now. So, but good news for them, 60 million shares. It's nice that they're doing so much volume and keeping high, so that's good, man. We put some Microsoft in our own account the other day. We talked about that at 302 or 304, something like that, up to 311 today off that ATVI deal, which is good for them. So that's a nice move to the upside here, as you know, like 67 billion in cash, although it's half of their cash holding. You know, they're approaching 3 trillion in market cap, right? So they got to put the cash to use somewhere, and we'll see if that tends to pay off for software.
You know what bugs me? Everyone's like, oh man, look how big it is relative to like when they wanted to buy Yahoo or when they wanted to buy LinkedIn. Like the Fed's balance sheet is like multiples bigger. Like the overall economy is way bigger. Microsoft is like Microsoft was like a $200 and something million company when they were talking about Yahoo. Wow, that was a big mistake by Yahoo. So like everything's with a grain of salt. Like back then it was a much larger chunk of their market cap than the 3% this deal is. So again, I think that's part of the reason too. Like it's such a small drop in the bucket, and it's a bit of a metaverse play for them as well, which I think hasn't been talked about enough. Vinco starting to roll over here, and if it can't go up, and that 560 in the pre-market and that level on the daily, that was a double top, and it's a pullback trade. I think it's going to maybe get to that 480 level. I'm on the bid in front of it. I'm not adding to this position. I'm sort of done with averaging into it. It either breaks down towards the low of the day and retests 465. We get the winner. Otherwise, you know, no reloads. I'm going to throw a stop around that 525 level. You will see me like, by the way, like this, that Activision, it's just ATVI. There we go. This ATVI, it again tried to break 82, so I keep thinking it's going to give that secondary dollar run, because it gave you $1 the first time, but it just reversed off 82. And like the sellers, man, like when the stock, like it's just, when it catches a bid, it just, like at some point the sellers are just like, we want our profits, and it's $13 away. So like, I'm not going to fight it forever. It's now double bottomed at 81.50. Like if this doesn't hold and break back above VWAP, it might actually be headed to $80. And if this thing breaks $80, then I don't care what antitrust issues there are. It just might turn into a bit of a shot play, sort of betting on it, because it's just like $15 would be like just 15% plus in terms of an R premium is kind of crazy in Activision here. It's not there yet, but triple bottom at 81.50 if it were to break. I'm not shorting it, but I'm certainly not going to be reloading on this long, even if it has been good. I got to draw the line somewhere. I never got back into SoFi, but it's starting to get a little bit close as it tries to roll over off VWAP. I'm on the bid here at about 1340 or so, just in front of it. This is showing signs of continuing a bit of a, not the sell-off, but I guess the sell the news would be the better way to put it, because outside of the open, it's been pretty calm waters here. And you have to remember what SoFi was doing the last couple of weeks. You're right back into the same range. If you look at that top, it's about a 1450 top, and then it was able to find some decent levels of support around this 1350 area. I'm liking 1325, the quarters all the way down here. And that's what we're trying to buy in front of on SoFi. So Vinco, short side going to hold. Vine is still continuing to work. ATVI and SoFi are what I like to the long side. And by the way, DWAC, even though it shook me out, yeah, it's still, that's why I get a look at the 15. Like the 1 minute chart really can shake you. If you look at what's happened here at that 78.50 level on the 15-minute chart, like it's barely a blip going below, and then it bounced all the way back to 81.82. So the mistake for me was even glancing an eye at the 15-minute, at the 1 minute, trying to make executions. If you just sort of looked at this level, said, okay, this is what it's testing here, it barely broke it. I shouldn't be in and out like this. I should be in somewhere, holding it through to see if it really truly breaks a level, and then trying to get back into 82. Sometimes we say, when in doubt, zoom out. Well, I got to do it too. So I obviously did not do that case. I don't mind the short because it came right into the bottom, and I was looking for a re-entry. But that long, like that's way too tight of a stop when the stock is pulled back $14. So a bit of a mistake for me there on DWAC. The level does hold, and it did give you $2.50. But I'm not capturing it because I didn't zoom out.
Yeah, Brendan zoomed out. Brendan got a great trade there on DWAC today, so thank you. Good move there for Brendo as we go. But okay, so I just want to say something about ATVI and Microsoft. Microsoft bought LinkedIn for $27 billion like 10 or 15 years ago after they missed and had a horrible quarter. And their stock was like chopped in half, right? So Microsoft comes in and picks those guys up on the cheap. 27 billion, right? Like ATVI was valued just a year ago much higher than Microsoft just paid. And they step in and take out ATVI when obviously there's blood in the streets. So again, like here it comes all the way to the downside. And I don't care. I mean, I think it's a great metaverse play as well, but like I don't even care the reasons. I think it's a great pickup for Microsoft, and their stock is rewarding shareholders, and hopefully you're in Microsoft, man. My largest holding, actually, Microsoft and Google. I don't know, it could still be Apple, I'm not sure, but it's one of those three for sure, with Facebook right behind. VAX there, I don't know if this was on our watch list or not. I don't sort of scroll down that low, but right now VAX right here, still up 34%, so a big halt move right here. But again, it's just, thank you to Dominic as well in the chat for this. We've already halted once early off that move, comes back in, bases out at 8, which is great, and then rips up again. And obviously it's a volatility halt as there's that dollar on $8. So that's going to be more than 10%. So now we see where we go from here. Excuse me, on VAX. That TDOC on an upgrade is nice, man. That's Brendan brought that to our attention before as well. So TDOC nicely done on an upgrade to the upside right now, up 3%, yeah, 2.5% as well. Ford trying to there you go. VAX now open, so we can have a quick look at VAX NQ. Let's see if it halts again here. VAXX starting to go back up right now. It just, I don't know if it hit 1060 there or not. Yeah, it did. It hits 1060 on open, and now it's kind of crashed back down. So I think if you're going to play this, maybe around $8. But right now, VAX coming back in pretty fast, man. It just hit 1050.
Oh my God, that's cheap to short. It's only 3 cents a share for a stock that's halted twice, and that's a pretty cheap price to be able to pay for locates. I was looking at about 10 and a quarter here, just if I can zoom in on the daily chart, because it doesn't really go back very far. This is that like first bounce, I guess, of any distance, and then goes right into this 1030. So the fact that it fails at I always say like obvious price on the daily chart, but it's logical price is the better way to put it. So it failed at a logical price. It's now had a halt fail below that 10. You have the halt price at 988. That's the level I want to work with. 1030 top, 10 even. You can use any of these as a stop out, but it's got to give me an entry point. I would have tried it at 960 or 970. It just was not fast enough. From the time you guys said it to the time I went to get the shorts, I was not nearly quick enough for those locates. But that might be coming off, but it is a key level on the daily, so I guess it should not be too surprising whatsoever. Might have missed a boat on that one. If that's the case, then I'm going to be pie in my face, because that's 2 halts. It should have been monitoring that halt page the first time it came through. Twice it's failed and rallied. And if you look at that pattern, it came back to the even 8, $1 pullback, held 8. If that were to happen here, you're looking at it holding potentially 9 even. It's halted twice, so usually that means I'm looking for shorts. That's why I'm not going long in front of 9, but if you have a stop there, there's worse risk to rewards. I just have a rule about how many times one of these low liquidity names halts up. And then I don't want to chase along after that point.
Yeah. You don't chase these longs. Not today, anyways. The market is right now tank city. It's right at VWAP, so we'll see where it goes from here. But the market definitely wants to come to the downside, so we're gonna have to wait for it right now. And on that note, again, I'm gonna sit here and talk about the trades that I make for you because that's just what we do on the show. And I got out of Ford, so Ford makes a move to the downside there, and we get out at 40 there. We've had enough of it. It obviously doesn't want to make that move to the upside right now. So Ford, we're out of it. As you can see what's happening right now, NASDAQ starting to crack lower. So is the ES right now. So the ES actually just turns red. So what's up, Brendo?
Another metaverse link stock, or a little one here, Weemy hologram, just popping up at day highs. 290, I guess, was the day high there. Monster volume spike for WIMI. Let's get a quick check on how things over in Europe are shaping up. Ms. V is watching what's going on over there. A positive day so far.
Absolutely, Brandon. Positive day for Europe. Bond yields and earnings are in focus. Luxury goods company Richemont, trading in Switzerland, is up more than 6% after posting a sharp rise in its quarterly sales. Back to you.
Yeah, nice bounce back so far. As I say that, I'm looking at the ES going red, guys. So it was positive up until now.
Yeah.
We talk about stink bids. I'm like, I had a stink offer that was so close. I was on the way up. I was sort of saying it's getting pretty close to taking some profit in Caterpillar, and I'm mocking myself, by the way, because this is what. And look, I'm not. I know this is mentioned in the chat. I'm not mad that this got mentioned in the chat because they're down 3.5% on CAT given the run it's made. That's a big move. But I thought it was getting to 235. Someone put in. I didn't notice by myself.
Oh,
Caterpillar.
look at Caterpillar.
Someone was saying, look at Caterpillar, and I'm like, wow.
Nasty.
I didn't notice this on my quote board. But the 3.5, look, it's 3%, but that's a big move for Caterpillar, and it's been on a run. This is a big, it's had a couple of days like this. You got to go way back till it's had a move like this. I still like the name, and I think it works this year, but I'm a sucker for not. This is one of the few names, because I don't overmanage. I don't really, not super active in the long term, but this is one of the names that I was looking to take some profit if it could have burst just a little bit higher. Now I have to reevaluate that decision, but it has come back $3. It's 3%. It's not a gigantic move relative to where it's been, but you can't ignore that turn. And part of, I think, the reason why the market's starting to roll over is names like that. I guess not having a bid pretty much all morning long. This has not had a bid. Going to go back over to Vinco because that's been a good runner. Maybe this is a down day, like I said. It just cracked the consolidation that it put in below VWAP, like this 505 to 490. So I think it's in that phase where it can start to head down to your mid 80s, your low 80s, and then retest 465. And just to remind everybody, if you weren't trading the stock yesterday, this was a top end pullback. When it hit that 550, it pulled right back into that 465 from the pre-market, or from the open where we were going long. It held it. It's held that pre-market as well, so I want to make sure I'm taking profit. Until it breaks this, I got to think that this is still an area where a lot of people are going to want to defend it, reload it. The risk reward's pretty good at that 465 long, so I'm definitely taking profit on the way down. It's actually trying to take out 150,000 bid on ARCA right now on Vinco there. Let's see if I can quickly show it to you guys. At 491, there was just, it actually got filled. About 10% of this order on ARCA just got filled before it bounced a couple of pennies. So might hang out here for a little bit as there are already buyers in Vinco Ventures down in front of that level. I might take some more out. If it breaks this, I want to make sure I'm getting out of this on that momentum.
All right. Yes. Just looking here, I was trying to look at, I made one trade right here in Ethereum, trying to go back to the downside right now as the NASDAQ cracks. Was thinking that it would break through 50. It looks like it's trying to do that. We're short 55 right now on this name. We'll see if that wants to go. Palantir came all the way back, but we're just holding this to watch where it goes because this is not, we're out of Palantir. We do have some shares, but it's 3% or so of our position. So we're just trying to wait to see where it goes. I'm trying to watch this because I want to get back in. I'm trying to notice that flush right there. So it's almost time. We could probably reload this right now. It's just Palantir is negative today. I'd rather look for a long stock. I'd rather look for a stock that's been favorable to the long today if I'm going to take a long, especially when the market is cracking lower. We're looking for shorts. And actually, that brings me to my next point. I'm actually looking for a Ford short now. we hit the long. I mean, I don't know the last time you even heard me say that. Aunt Kathy, last week, I guess, was talking about this up near like 24.50 that had probably gone too far too fast. Agreed. But again, I'm not selling anything out of this account, but on Ford, I've already done that selling. And now it's super. Like, look at Tilray. Tilray 52-week highs. Clover 52-week lows. Tilray 52-week lows. ACB 52-week lows. Canopy, the marijuana space right now, guys, not a good space to be in unless you have one right beside you and want to roll it up and kind of forget about your worries. But those names down. Lots of things at 52-week lows. Rivian at 52-week lows. ARC at 52-week lows. Nikola, TNA, Palantir, Chewy, Snapchat at 52-week lows, guys. Twitter at 52-week lows. MindMed at $1. MindMed. Square 52-week lows.
Literally $1 or
literally $1. MNMD right here for
literally $1.
Literally
you know
$1 right there for MindMed right now. So yeah, that stock getting woodshedded as well. And then so anyways, what I was getting at was I'm looking for a place to reload in Ford. But on that note, I want a strong name. Lucid today is that. It's bouncing around VWAP. I'm going to try one more test down here around 40.50. I like the 50 levels. I don't really want to play with it right here because we could still spank down a little bit. So we'll see if that does happen down to 40.50 or so. Let's start to position around 70 here on Lucid.
Yeah, and just, I mean, you mentioned the cannabis space there, and a few days ago there was rumors of, look, whatever. There's people online, they call for pumps and squeeze plays, and one of them was on Sundial. That stock doing what it pretty much always does and continuing to fade. It's going to crack, it looks like it'll crack 50 cents. That's in trouble, that name. And it's trying to it's heavily shorted, but that's in a lot of trouble. Just because you set $1 on MindMed, this is what it looks like on the 15. So there could be a dollar break. And I like dollar breaks when just as a pure momentum play almost every time if there's a level. And this is close enough. This is yesterday at 102. This is 101. I think maybe a 99 change short with a 101, 102 stop, that previous low could be in play for me. Vinco, I can tell you, what I was trying to say very quickly as it was happening for you guys was there was that buyer at 491, and now that things have calmed down. Obviously, someone sticks in 150,000 on the bid at this level, higher low on Vinco Ventures, trying to buy it back up. And as that level was broken, I said I wanted to make sure I got out some shares on that momentum, meaning if it breaks that support, you'll have stops. People that just went long in front of 150,000 shares worth of size, what they're going to do when that level breaks, they want to risk a couple of pennies. They're going to punch out or stop out, and it might only go a few cents. You get that fill, and then if the buying is legitimate, like that level re-ups, well, you as a short, you've taken the profit on the way down, you maintain the trend, it opens you up to be able to reload if you want to. I've already said I'm not reloading on Vinco Ventures, but that's what I'm looking for. The people that go long at 92, 93 in front of a 91 level, when that level breaks, I want to take advantage of those stops being filled. Think of the counterparty of your trade for momentum. In that case, it was a short-term, very, very short-term scalp long that people would have had. And that's how you get that wick bottom, because I moved my bid just a couple of pennies below that 91 level. It's already 10:40. That means it's time for sector watch. Pretty mixed board, although it kind of looked like we're going to be green. We're barely holding now on the NASDAQ. So big movement today, Brendan.
Yeah, lots of back and forth. Good way to put it today. Here we go. Mixed board indeed. We are negative right now, 0.06 to the downside for the S&P. Couple of things to note right off the bat. Energy stocks back in negative territory along with oil. We've talked in depth about the strength from energy stocks, so a bit of a reversal today. That's take two, 6.5% again today on top of the move yesterday following the Microsoft news. Discovery down 3.5% today, having a tough day. But some of the other software makers in there, again, pretty positive on the day. Financials going to be weak on the day as well. Morgan Stanley standing out here 2% to the upside. Everything else pretty much back in negative territory, including USB TFC PBCT in the banking group, leading the way to the downside as far as sizable moves are concerned. Bank of America, 1.3% in positive territory. The rest, though, under pressure. Tech stocks are also under pressure, led by software makers today. Interestingly enough, after some moves we saw yesterday, Xilinx here, 3% to the upside. ASML, the reason on that. KLAC, NVIDIA, and LACX, some of the semiconductors having a bounce back day. Overall, though, not enough to offset some weakness. The guys just looked at CAT, CAT 2.5%, Boeing right beside it here, 2.3% in negative territory as well over here. Just changed 1.5% there for GE as well. Airlines, some of the travel names also back in negative territory. So back and forth we go. Now 0.1 to the downside for the S&P, guys. Back over to you.
So just play the shot.
He probably has a sword.
Like, Brendan's like Magic Man. Like, that icon moves where industrials are, and he's like, yeah, industrials here. He knows exactly where it was. When I filled in for Brendan, that was always tripping me up. I was like, how the heck am I supposed to keep track of where each sector is if it doesn't stay in the same spot? But as you noted, those industrials rolling over. Tesla, now at 1,009 is the new low of the day. Look, the way this is rolling over, I like the 980 level, but I'm gonna try a stink bid in front of 1,000, which I wasn't willing to do the last time we got down here because I was more interested in the 980 level the last time it broke 1,000, but it's been higher lows, at least in this last little run. So if that holds up, then this last dip broke 1,000, got to like 97, and that was really early in the pre-market, and then just a couple of days ago, and then rolled back up. So I'm going to be in front of the 1,000 bid for a quick little scalp trade. This is starting to get we're negative now on the NASDAQ, and the ES, the ES pretty much exactly the same thing, down 0.1%. Miss V, what do you got?
Hey guys, just around 15 minutes left until the morning show, and we're super close to get 3,000 likes. Just 500 more is needed. 5,000 people is watching, so guys, we can easily get those 500. Please help us to get those 3,000 likes. We would be so happy. Back to you guys.
All right, good. Do we still have Justin, the marketing guy, coming through? It's pardon? Yeah, okay, good. All right, so Justin's going to be coming through soon as well. We'll talk to him about, I don't know what, so we'll see what's happening with him. Maybe about Lucid here or something. We'll find out maybe which electric vehicle Justin is interested in these days. We'll find out. Okay, so just to talk, we are in Lucid right here. It comes down to 70. We want to protect that 40-50 level, so that's... Wait a second, did I get, no, I didn't get it. Okay, I was bidding 55s, it went to 56, okay. Again, I'm trying to use the gateways today where we can actually get paid on rebates because it's moving a lot right now. So we'll see if Lucid wants to go back up. First spot, guys, I am going to take out 20% at 80. So that's coming up right now just to put 10 cents in our pocket in case it does drop down. But our outs are going to be right around here, man. $40. There it is. Yes, sir. There goes Lucid. Come on, Lucid. I mean, here we go. This has been not my number one stock, but my number one stock since the first 20 minutes, basically, as Lucid right now going back up to the upside. A good trade there. And then just in case I don't get back before this happens, Palantir, we just reloaded down here. So average price 82 now on Palantir off that 75 bottom. So hopefully this market will continue to rally. Lucid next target going to be near 41. And then hopefully we'll fly higher on that one. SoFi, Palantir, and Lucid. It's Justin time with Brendan.
Indeed. Our friend Justin Kozach back in the building. Or not in the building, almost in the building. Good to have you, as always, Justin, to talk about some headlines this morning, making waves, as always. A few interesting things today. I saw this SpaceX-related story early this morning and thought it was kind of interesting. Not only are we going to have autonomous vehicles at some point in the near future, but tell us about this rail story as well.
Right, so a couple SpaceX engineers are jumping ship, so to speak, to build autonomous rail cars. This company raised $49.5 million in a raise led by Anthos Capital, Congruent, and a number of other companies. And they've raised $53.15 million to date. They're looking to create a more efficient, decarbonized freight network that flows on top of existing rail infrastructure, which is going to be a challenge for them, being that rail infrastructure is privately owned in the United States. So until they can get a customer, they have no real way to test whether or not their product works. So a very interesting startup. I love this idea, being that they're not I can't believe I just said that, being that they're trying to create a more environmentally friendly way of transporting goods. I'm all for that. We'll see if they can actually pull it off, and hopefully it doesn't come off the rails.
He never ceases to amaze. Tesla, Elon has the Boring Company. It seems like, I mean, jumping ship obviously from SpaceX, but this kind of seems like an idea that he might, be into, really.
I find Tesla and SpaceX and Elon Musk and this whole company, so fascinating because it is a breeding ground for so much technological innovation. I think it's amazing that people are leaving the company and starting their own businesses and doing things that could not compete with Tesla, but could add value to the company. It's always great publicity for, it seems a little backwards, but it's great publicity for SpaceX. Come to SpaceX, join the company, work here, and create great things, and then leave and do your own thing. I think that's awesome. So good for them. Good for them for being able to raise that kind of money. Good for them for being able to come up with a product and hopefully have some viability. And I think that's great for the economy. I think it's great for everybody. So
yeah,
Elon's pretty happy about it too.
A lot of great ideas coming, as you said, from not only the company itself but the people involved. Parallel Systems, the name of this new startup. So watch out for them going forward. It seems like once a week or so we talk about new graphics chips and cards being launched. This time it's AMD. Last week we got a new one from NVIDIA, I believe it was. Tell us about this one.
Right, so AMD launching their budget GPU at $199 US. Good luck getting it at that price. Seems like they are trying to take a little bit of the wind out of the sails from NVIDIA's side of the world. Seems like this card performs 33% faster than the previous GTX 1650. But, with every video card release, the conversation inevitably turns to, will I be able to get my hands on one? It launches today, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be able to get one today. It seems like I was just doing some quick research on some of the limitations around buying them. It seems like you can only buy one per household per month from your local micro center. Apparently that's the policy that seems to kind of be surfacing a little bit. So, the GPU wars certainly they're not heating up. They've already heated up, and one could say that they're definitely overheating right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to translate, if this ongoing supply issue is going to continue as it has, and it likely will until we have more availability of raw materials. We'll continue to have this. Maybe, who knows, we'll get really lucky and there's a giant asteroid heading towards us and we can have somebody mine the asteroid for minerals before we all die. So I
feel like that should be a movie or something. Or
I feel like Netflix needs to get on that.
There's an important issue we should mention as well. This pandemic has very much put a lot of stress on people, unneeded stress involved with not only working from home but the conditions around not interacting with people. The government in this country making a little bit of an effort, or a little bit more of an effort today, by launching an app aimed at making access to mental health wellness easier as well. Tell us about this Pocket Well.
Right, so Government of Canada announcing Pocket Well. It's designed to help you with mindfulness and being a little bit more, present, for lack of a better term. This is always a topic for me that's always very personal, being that I have openly struggled with mental health issues, and have unfortunately gone through this whole, challenge in life. And so I'm always very happy to see that there are solutions that are being brought forth and support services for people who, for those that live with those challenges. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that this afternoon. My frustration, and which I'm going to expand on later, is around the lack of services. We have a fundamental issue in this country when it comes to mental health support services. The answer to that isn't necessarily an app. That's a good way to start. However, what Canadians need, and I think what everybody needs, is actual support, proper support, and fully funded systems to help those who live with these challenges to be able to live their best possible lives without stealing a line from Oprah. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and the good things about that, as well as the frustrations that I have with the current system. So in the meantime, I love that this app is out. I love that people are taking this seriously. They absolutely should be, because it is a fundamental social issue that is costing the lives of many, many Canadians and billions in lost productivity. Not that that matters. The lives of people is the most important thing. Billions in lost productivity is secondary to that. So I'm going to talk a lot about more of that this afternoon. I don't want to take up more time on the segment.
Yeah, no. I mean, well said. We'll, as said, discuss it a little in depth, or a little more in depth this afternoon. Justin Kozach, check him out on Twitter, guys, at TraderTV Justin. Let him know what you would like to know more about on a daily basis, and he will look into it for you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Interesting topics, guys.
Yeah, that's legit right there. And kudos to Justin for being brave enough to talk about it, certainly. And obviously, COVID hasn't helped with some of those issues, and I think we can all probably agree on that. The market had just turned red. The ES bounced a little bit there, getting back to the upside. I missed the Tesla bid by 75 cents. It did bottom at 102.91. It was arbitrarily in front of 1,000 at 102 and change, and it just might have made that curl. So when that happens, jumping back in, if it retests 1,000, it's either coming closer or giving you that low. So either I'm right in front of this 103, the bottom it put in, or I'm going deeper into that or closer to that 1,000 level. But that was the bounce I was looking to capture. The market bounced off of a key level there. It was a 45.6, which was a bit of a key level on the ES or the NASDAQ. I'm not sure had a corresponding level, but the ES at least bouncing off a key level at 45.60. Watch. If that can't hold this afternoon, maybe we're in for another one of those days, Sean.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I think we got the trade of the day right here, man. We've just been getting lucid right there. Look at this. We bid 40.50 out, 41.13, 41.20 out here at 41 at VWAP. So again, Lucid has been a fantastic stock today, despite what was happening here in the open. It was very, very choppy, but since then, man, we've been reading it like a book right there. So that's been a good trade for us here on Lucid. So SoFi, we did have we are down here. So let's see where we go here. Another big position for Lucid. We are long, or for SoFi, we are long at 13.48 right now. Just starting to go back up to the upside. I think I have a 57 offer there. Yeah, we're trying to take a dime on it. We'll see if that can go back up to the upside. Palantir, 6 cents in the money. Right now, we're just hoping that the NASDAQ did bottom there. We have a couple names that we know can go on a NASDAQ bottom. So SoFi, I mean, obviously we want to go over to Microsoft and things like that. Canada Goose, 52-week low as well. UiPath, 52-week low. ARC is getting absolutely destroyed right now. But anyway, SoFi going upside. And there's Lucid, guys, another 55-cent winner. So yeah, we'll do.
Oh my God.
Also, because we are very, very close, if you can, please push us over the edge. Whoopsies. I can't remember the last time we were at 3K. Probably wasn't too long ago, but we're at 2.7 right now. We're about to throw it over to Market Movers. So get ready to rock and roll. If we can get, guys, just 300 of you. There's 6,000 watching. Just hit the like button if you can, please. I hate peddling for them, but it's the only way we can get this YouTube algorithm to smarten up and recommend us to everybody. I don't know if that was Miss V or Brendan, but we got to throw it somewhere.
Miss V.
We're going to team up on this one, so it'll be her screen, and I'll tell you about earnings, guys, because there's some coming. I was just double checking on United on here. United is actually aftermarket tonight. And then the call is tomorrow. So UAL in the middle there.
Yeah, I remember a time when Alcoa used to start earnings. That hasn't been true for a long time, but they finally do come through. Yeah, you're right. United, get the airlines in there. United and American both going to be reporting. Nothing too interesting. You get a couple of smaller banks in there. But yeah, we're going to be talking about these airlines, which the cancellations, they haven't been good. So they're going to definitely be in play for some volatility. But you've seen what's happened today. It's been the EV space. It's been pretty much moving. And Tesla 1,000. Wow. I mean, that was another play at 1,000 Tesla. That stock is just bouncing around. It might actually retest it here as the market bounced a little bit, Petetra, and then turning a little bit red. That's the only time you're going to hear me say anything in French. I'll never do it again. I got my reload on SoFi. I've only gone in a couple of times, but if it takes out this 13.25, once this level is gone, forget about it. That's where I only wanted to buy the dip in front of. It's given you a couple around here, but I'm not going to the grave with this stock. They've certainly sold the news. It's still up 12%. fantastic move for it. But clearly this was a bit of a sell the news type of event for this name. And then going back over to Vinco, I'm not saying this is not done in this range until it cracks 465. So now it's a range bound trade, and I'm just going to scalp it to that 465. Otherwise, you're still waiting for 560. So this could be a midday play. Maybe Trader Pratt is looking at Vinco breaking 560. I know if it comes in the afternoon and we're back at 2 o'clock, I'll still be looking for the next long. It's going to have to be the breakout at 560 on Vinco Ventures, but it's still in this channel, so it's scalping the channel until it breaks out, and that 560 has been the level forever now. And the fact that it can't break lower is just the longer it holds this range, the better a potential breakout might be. I think that goes without saying.
And one last one. Bang right there, guys, as SoFi. Yeah, we put on one of our bigger positions. On SoFi right there and starting to ring the register again. Load up the boat. Yes, sir. Today was a good one. Today we stack out some of the cash I hope you've had a great time today, guys. This has been a very, very huge show for us. Look at this, $1 now in the money on Lucid. So, wow, come back at 2 p.m. I'll discuss all these trades, guys. Lucid with a big move to the upside right now. We'll see if we can get a 42 offer on this one as we reloaded back there at 40.50. Good one. Mark just looks too serious. Every time I look over there, I'm scared. He's
planning
stuff. I'm what do we got going on here? Shout out to Mark.
That's what you guys don't see is Randy, Mark, the team.
Oh, they see it. All right.
They're around here. They're reorganizing the entire space. Yep. That's why you see it a little bit more empty, cleaning it up. There's going to be some big changes that are coming through, which is going to make the show just look even better than it already does. And I know the team does a fantastic job of it, but so much more is going to be coming, including in 2 minutes going to Trader Pratt. And speak of Miss V, here she is.
Hey guys, thank you so much for 3,000 likes. We did it with your help, of course. And I remind you guys, it's not only likes for us, it's likes for you because we're one big community. Thank you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And day is not over at all. So many more opportunities are ahead. So please join Prad and me to trade at Market Movers. Happy National Popcorn Day, everyone.
All right, yeah. Popcorn, a staple in my house. Every time there's a movie on, we try to throw down or some kind of a dessert. My kids are crazy because they always want, it's what's for dessert? There has to be dessert every time. It's nuts. So they're always what's for dessert today? So maybe sometimes we throw down some popcorn and, I heard you say under your breath.
That's not dessert.
Caramel corn. No, it's
caramel
not.
corn's
right.
Dessert.
That's what I was going to say.
Popcorn's just popcorn.
Much healthier choice. But, they don't eat it without a little bit of butter or something.
On how much, I was going to say, it's healthy depending on how much butter you put on it. My daughter doesn't want anything on her popcorn, which works perfectly for me because then she has her own and I get all the caramel corn. But I like dessert every single day. I think there's, you got to have a little bit of fun and you got to have your vices in life. And dessert every day in moderation, I think, is definitely reasonable. Just want to quickly come back. We only have a couple of minutes to go, and we're starting to accelerate a little bit to the downside here. And I know somebody, Jude, was talking about a firm. I never found my way into it because I was looking for a 68. But yeah, you continue to pick on it. It gives you that double top, and now it looks like it might break down. So this is, of course, the one day that I haven't put a trade. And you look at this. Yesterday's low, 63.75. It just got tested on a firm. If it consolidates down here and breaks even lower and we hold red, you just keep going on to the same well. This has been a pretty good one. If you just sort of stick to one stock, and that's what I had been doing. I got away from that a bit with the firm today, and that's going to be a bit of a miss. But yeah, continuing to be weak, so I want to shout that out. Good look. Trader formerly known as Frodo Bangs, I think it was, with only 20 seconds to go.
I just want to give a shout out to Day Trading Mom as well, because remember at the beginning of the day I said T-Doc, it's just a sell opportunity, and you can see what T-Doc's done, $80 to 75 in a straight line. So there goes T-Doc down with the market. So that was hopefully saved you guys a little bit of cash as it drops back down in. And then there goes SoFi, just to review some of these positions going to the upside. We have our largest position on SoFi right now that we've had on all day. Again, it just came down here to test these bottoms. We'll take it on a NASDAQ dump off. Lucid right now, $1, hugely in the money right now with Lucid. Palantir, SoFi, man, we're rocking and rolling. What a great day it's been. Let's see if Lucid here can get out near 42 bucks. But that's it, man. We're rocking and rolling. Thanks for watching. What a great show.
Absolutely. And thank you to Justin, of course, for obviously giving great information every single day, but for sharing. I think that's a big one. And I think it was a fantastic talk there. Not said enough what he talked about with mental health, and very brave of him. And we're sending you right over to Trader Pratt. Hopefully a bit of a market turnaround. Let's get this one going. We don't want to be red again. Trader Pratt and Ms. V. Let's go. Market move.
Hey, yo, welcome back to Trader Pratt and Miss V. We're your host for Market Movers.
Hey guys, welcome back everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you're having a great trading morning so far. Please, as usual, be active on the chat, ask us anything, and go along on the like button. How's your day going, Pratt?
It's going, you know, hanging out, taking some trades here and there. Surprisingly, I wasn't going to take a Tesla trade, but I took